be good to go.
I will click on the stream to see if anybody is in here.
Yep. All right, it's working on Twitter.
Okay.
For some
It says
reason,
2 waiting.
I don't know why it says Twitter won't let me create the broadcast, and I honestly don't know why.
Remember last time we had to... Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's working on YouTube.
YouTube just started.
So anything that you want me to put on the screen, Shams-wise or anything, put it in the stream chat, and I can click the URL, and that way it'll load
Got
in.
it. I will send the Shams tweet.
Got it. I think we're also streaming on Twitch as well, if you want to check that, just to make sure. Yeah, we are. We're live on Twitch for the first time ever.
Okay, let me send the tweet that Shams. There was a trade, but really don't care about that right now.
I'm gonna have to just make a new broadcast for Twitter because it's not working.
I am copy link.
We'll let the chat kind of fill up.
Put it. Okay, there it is.
Make sure to like the stream on your end.
I don't know if you saw the tweet yet.
I will take a look at it in just a few moments. Because I have not seen it. I'm trying to figure out how to get this title up here. There we go. Do you want me to also record this for Spotify? Or...
Yeah, if you want.
Okay. Yeah, because I can.
Why not?
I'll do that.
Why
when I'm
not,
done with this.
everybody?
Here, category sports. Select the source Twitter. Ah, there we go. Now it lets me create the broadcast. So create the broadcast, and then I have to hit go live. Post. Wait, go caps lock. We're...
All right. Oh.
All right, we are live. Post.
Can you see me? Or
I can,
Do
yeah.
you want to move that?
Oh, that's all right, because I need to pull up tweets and stuff like that. I'll be able to see you. It's no worry. Again, I'm not really sure how many people will tune in, just purely for the fact of, whatchamacallit. Purely for the fact of it's early in the day, people are working. That's why a few of our people cannot join. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. So, pretty goated.
All right, chat. Whoever's in here, anybody returnees that we know, obviously. Why does my name say I'm Anthony Cavino 7997? I never put a 7997 after my name. Unless it just immediately just did that for...
All right, there we go. We have good connection. I'm going to press record as well. Start recording. And again, we'll just kind of let the chat fill up with everybody, and then we'll kind of get things underway. So if you're in the chat, say what's up. How we doing today? We are live for the first time in the studio in quite some time. Pretty sure I think it's the first time since around the start of the NBA season. We had that crazy night of games and everything of that nature. And Antoine, if you want to move yourself over further towards that side because you're off to the right on the overlay. I want to get you more centered.
Well, I'm seeing it now. I am in the middle as of where I'm looking right now.
Okay, yeah, because you're off to the right. You're too far to the right on my end.
Yeah, I see it. I exactly see what you mean.
Exactly, yeah. But we are
Okay.
good. We got 7 people in the chat right now. Say what's up so we can start getting things underway here. We're also live on Twitch if you guys want to go check us out on there. And yeah, I'm not sure. The Twitch might not be a long-term thing for us, but, you know, it is kind of what it is.
I like Twitch.
Wait, where'd you put the...
It's in the chat.
On the YouTube chat? I don't see it.
It says it's under top chat. Oh, I need to put it in live chat.
Live
okay,
chat, yeah.
I
Put it
got
in
you.
live chat.
I got you. I got you.
You can delete it from the top chat if you want.
It's okay. But yeah, I don't know if Tyler saw that tweet.
I'm going to actually link our Twitch and put it in the pinned comment. Oh, I'm still in caps lock. Yeah, once we figure out a different setup, this will be a lot easier to do. And I'll pin this.
Awesome.
All right. So did you put it in the live chat?
I did.
I don't see it.
Oh, wait. Let me do it again. Now do you see it?
No. I do not see it. That's very strange. I mean, I'm in Shams anyway, so I could just pull it up on here.
Let me refresh the stream.
Yeah, refresh the stream.
Oh, yeah, it's not there.
Yeah. So try one more time. I want to just make sure it works. I want to make sure our people can chat
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
because that's concerning if they can't.
All right, how about now?
The chat rate is 1, but I think that's just me putting it in. Why is the chat not working?
How about now?
No.
Oh God.
Let me
Okay.
see.
No one can chat with us.
Test. I want to see if my thing works.
I see you.
Yep, there we go. So mine works. So it's not just it must be something on your end that's not working.
Uh-oh.
But anyways, let's go to Shams. I'm going to refresh the page here. And let's switch over to the stream graphic, which will go over here.
Let me type test. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
So there must be something with hyperlinks.
It's
yeah.
the link. Okay. It's definitely the link.
So it's definitely the link. So yeah, just message it in whatchamacallit. You could just message it in my Twitter DMs and I'll just read it from there. But I'm assuming it's the Bucks one.
Not the trade.
Because there was a Bucks trade.
There was a Bucks trade, yeah.
So the Bucks, we'll put it on the screen right now for y'all to see. I'll zoom in so that way everyone can kind of see it more clearly.
You have Shams up, right? So you're good?
Exactly. Yeah, I have
Okay.
Shams up, so I'm
Go
good.
ahead.
So it says the Milwaukee Bucks have agreed to trade Cole Anthony and Amir Coffey to the Phoenix Suns for Nick Richards and Nigel Hayes Davis. Fun fact, I did not even know Amir Coffey was on the Bucks. That's like bad from me.
Yeah.
Like I should have known that.
Amir was a free agent until like training camp. And they brought him in, I think, on a 1, but he's not been playing. Like, we know Cole Anthony, and they're getting Nick Richards, which is a center that the Knicks have been looking to get. I've been hearing too, just like as a backup guy.
Yeah.
So he goes to Milwaukee, and obviously Milwaukee sheds Cole Anthony because you have the emergence of Ryan Rollins, you have KPJ. They're keeping somebody now. We'll get into that later.
Do you want me to read the quote tweet?
Yeah, get into that.
So we'll read the quote tweet because that obviously has, cultural significance here. Saying, over the last week, the Bucks have been focused on incoming calls for Giannis Antetokounmpo and canvassing the NBA for small salary trades. Milwaukee remains in talks to complete potentially more of the latter here on deadline day. So Antoine, for the viewers at home, what does that mean?
So we just saw one trade. Exactly. So, we know the Bucks have immense depth and a lot of guys that don't play. Did Bobby Portis get traded? No.
Not yet,
Okay.
but I know there are a bunch of teams that are, in the mix to get him.
Yeah. I think this is Milwaukee trying to just, get whatever they can in return for some guys that are not really playing, like Cole and Amir. And you get some guys that are kind of going to help, I guess, right now and post, Giannis, because we should get back to that Shams tweet so I could talk about that now.
Which one?
Do 9 minutes ago.
Actually, let me. Oh,
So-
back.
9 minutes ago, not 7.
Hang on. Let me go over here so I could figure out. Can you send it to me in Twitter DMs?
Yeah, you don't see it? That's crazy.
Oh wait, no, I found it. Never mind.
There you go. You can put that tweet up.
My fault. The 9 minutes ago. Oh, I found it. Okay, wait. That was the incoming calls on. It was a Shams tweet.
Yeah, Shams.
All I see is the over the last week, the Bucks have been focused on incoming calls.
No way.
Yeah. Did he
Hold
delete
on.
it?
He did not delete it.
I'm refreshing Shams again, just to make sure we got the right stuff up, because I honestly don't know.
Hold on. I'm going to send it to you in Twitter DMs.
Okay.
Okay, now do you see it?
I have to log in with my PIN. Hang on, because I forgot there's new encryptions and stuff on Twitter DMs.
Yeah, he did not delete it yet.
Sent a post. Okay, I did not see this. Okay, so here is the tweet that we were talking about, saying the Milwaukee Bucks have indicated to teams that they are keeping Giannis through the trade deadline and will start making other trades.
There you go.
This does essentially make sense in the way that the Bucks are in talks with the Memphis Grizzlies for Ja Morant. We know they've been, kind of around that end with each other for a while now. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, God. The first initial thought is the packages that we have Golden State obviously sending, Miami, New York, and Minnesota was not, what's the correct word? Sufficient for them. And, whatever that, maybe we'll get some tweets about what was offered. We know Tyler did say yesterday that Minnesota would not part with JD McDaniels. That might have been a sticking point for Milwaukee, getting him back. The Knicks, I don't think even could have made an offer, to be honest, regarding picks, maybe players. The Heat, same thing. Tyler Hero would have been the main guy probably going back probably in that trade. And he's injured. So again, not a nice package there. And then the Warriors have nothing besides picks. So Milwaukee holds on to Giannis now. They're probably going to shut him down because Brian Windhorst said that it's possible that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we're going to go into the offseason, and the trade's probably going to happen.
What's up, Kmart? How you doing today? Said, yo.
Yo, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, look, my problem is it's like I was wrong, by the way. The Wolves wanted to trade Jaden McDaniels, but they were trying to get more teams involved because when you're doing a Giannis trade, there's so much salary going back and forth. You need to expand it out. And in this situation, I just don't really see how the Bucks could have made it work from the Wolves' perspective unless they were to give up Rudy Gobert instead, which the Wolves wouldn't do. Because, look, I understand the defense with Giannis and Rudy is outstanding, but, you know, the offense lacks significantly. So, you know, you have to make, I almost dropped my iPad. You have to make those, like, tough decisions, you know, regarding that. Because without Rudy on the team, the defense will struggle with Naz Reid, presumably at the 5. So, you know, it is what it is. I think this is foolish from the Bucks and foolish from Giannis. You would have gotten a really good package from either the Wolves or the Miami Heat. And Ja Morant's not going to move the needle for you at all. In fact, it's going to make things worse because you're probably going to get rid of Ryan Rollins to Memphis. And Memphis is going to walk out of here with really good point guards on their roster. Right? You have Ty Jerome, you have Cam Spencer, and if you bring in someone like Ryan Rollins, because we've known for weeks now, the Bucks wanted to get a package of Ja Morant for Ryan Rollins in a second. That was what the Grizzlies offered. I don't know why they haven't accepted it yet, if that's always been the case. But, you know, for me, this is kind of a foolproof thing. You know, Giannis is one of those types of players that requires, you know, multiple first-round picks. So I understand the fact of not trading him to, you know, try and run this back. But if he's going to miss the rest of the season, and then next season you're just going to come in with the same roster and the same problems, I still don't believe in a guy like Miles Turner. So it's kind of a mess, at least in my eyes, of this whole thing.
Yeah, to echo off Tyler, when you have somebody that I'm thinking of Jimmy Butler from last year. You know, he wanted to sit out. And they traded him, obviously, to the Golden State Warriors, and we know what happened with that. Again, Milwaukee, I don't know what they're holding out for, because when you go into the offseason, I would assume you're going to have probably double the amount of teams inquiring. It depends, you know, who's going to want him.
Right.
You could have Golden State come back. You can have the Knicks come back. You can have Miami come back. But maybe certain teams like San Antonio gets into that. I really can't think of any others besides San Antonio that can offer a package. I don't know if anybody in the East would honestly do that. Detroit, Boston, not really. If we pull up like the standings in the East, I really don't see anybody that would, you know, to be honest with you, because I feel like the teams in the East are kind of just where, like, you know, we've seen Chicago trade so many players. Atlanta just got Kuminga and Buddy Hield. You know, I don't think they're going to be a team that's going to want to get into that. Maybe if you're the Nets, why not, Tyler?
No, I'm good. I'm A-okay.
So I don't know, but I truly believe it's going to be a West team, and I still think it's going to be Minnesota involved. I would say Golden State probably. I don't know. Tyler threw out Portland a week and a half ago.
Well, if you remember, there was a report a few weeks ago talking about there was a report a few weeks ago talking about the prospect of teams convincing the Bucks to wait till the offseason so they can come in with better offers.
Exactly.
So if you look at a team like, let's say Brooklyn as an example, not that I want them to get Giannis, but if you truly wanted to go get Giannis Antetokounmpo, then you'd have a much better chance to get him in the summer when you have another available first-round pick to trade in 2033, and you combine that with the fact that you're going to get better from here. You'll already have your first-round pick coming in, which hopefully, fingers crossed, is in the lottery in the top 4. And for that, it's a lot easier for the Bucks. Or on the other end of things, if you're a team that is looking to be more competitive and you do have a top 5 pick, you can easily save some of your salary and just give that pick right to Milwaukee. and they can wind up taking whoever is like maybe if it's like the 5th overall pick and something like that. But
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts, Antoine, on what Kmart said. He said, "I'm worried the Cavs will let Jarrett Allen go for Jay Huff and Obi Toppin."
Oh God, Kmart. I really don't see the value adding up there for any of those guys. Uh, to be honest, Jared Allen, he had dropped 40 last week, and you're getting Jay Huff. I understand Jay Huff's kind of had like a good year for a indie, but Obi Toppin's been out since like the beginning of the year.
Yeah, he had surgery in
Um,
October or
I
November.
really don't see that happening at all. Uh, if you want to sweeten that up a little bit and send a better trade, maybe. But for that sake, it's great for Indy, 100%.
Yeah.
Great for Indy. I think that's a steal if that ever does happen. I know yesterday, Zubac is the prime candidate for them right now. We'll see if something gets done with that today.
I really hope so.
I don't know if that would be massive for Indy getting Zub.
It would.
Get in the door, all-star guy caliber, and that does happen. That's massive, of course.
Yeah. Also, if you guys haven't noticed already, no Gio today. He is at work. Couldn't get off.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're here. It's just the 2 of us today. If any, we've reached out to a few people that want to join us. If anyone does, we'll obviously let you guys know, and we'll kind of just go through different trades and everything from here. So I say we just kind of go through Shams. We'll kind of go. You want to go from like all the way down to from like the earliest up to now?
So do you want to go back to like DeAndre Hunter?
Yeah, I think we do that. I'm just going to zoom all the way out of Shams, and I'll just go all the way down to the DeAndre Hunter trade.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up.
Because there's a ton that we'll put on the screen for you guys. Also, let us know where you're chatting from. Let us know who your favorite team is and everything of that nature. We got 16 of y'all in the chat, so I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day.
Yeah,
I hope you guys are having a good trade deadline.
Let us know who gets moved next, if we have anything.
Exactly, yeah.
Right now, it's a lot of smaller trades. So
That's interesting. It's not letting me scroll past. Oh, there we go. It's loading. There we go. All right. So the Hunter trade happened when? That was like 4 days ago,
Hunter is February 1st.
February 1st. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, yeah, there were 2 trades that happened. Okay, I found it. All right, so here is the first one. I'm actually going to open this in a new tab. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, fair enough. All right, so we'll put this one on the screen first. Before we do, Kmart says, I think we paid Allen 20 mil this year. Next year he goes to 30. Yeah, so you signed him to a 5-year, 100 mil back when we traded him to you guys. And look, he's been good for you in essence of in the playoffs he hasn't been great, but in the regular season he's been good. He had 1 All-Star season, but the Cavs do need a better center. And I'm fine with them keeping him, but it's water under the bridge. But here's the first trade that went down. We were waiting on if anything would happen, and here it is. It says the Cavs are trading DeAndre Hunter to the Sacramento Kings for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. This is a 3-team trade that the Bulls received Saric and 2 future first-round picks. So interesting here. The Cavs kind of get off of DeAndre Hunter, who's aging and plateauing. You bring in 2 defensive-minded point guards, and it feels like Dennis Schroeder's just getting traded every single season. What are your thoughts on both of these trades?
Okay, so I'm going to take this I'm going to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers first. So getting Schroeder, of course, we know, come playoff time, very good just bench guy, vet voice, of course, for the younger guys. Keon finally gets out of purgatory. Hopefully Cleveland can unlock something there with him. He's not going to start, obviously, because Mitchell's the 2 guard. So you can have Keon come off the bench. Hopefully he gets a lot of minutes there and can resurrect his career. DeAndre Hunter is a salary dump from Cleveland, obviously. He's on a kind of a heftier contract.
Mm-hmm.
You move off from him, send him to Sacktown. And we knew Keon was on the trade market and Schroeder as well now, obviously. And, Sacktown takes him on. Hopefully he can get into some form there and help them long term because he is on the younger side. We saw what he did in Atlanta for a little bit before getting moved to Cleveland, of course. A lot of injury history there with DeAndre Hunter. That's the biggest thing. He was a top 5 pick back at 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So again, it's a high risk, high reward for both sides. So I like the trade. I can't complain on that front.
Kmart says DeAndre Hunter looked terrible last night. Cavs let Ty Jerome walk for pennies. Like the only reason why Ty Jerome's not on this roster is because he played garbage in the Pacers series. They had him figured out. He shot super inefficient from the field, got into foul trouble every game. And then we got, what's up, Zet Step? Or Zet Step, I'm just going to imagine because the Z to the S. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I probably am. He says, I think the Celtics traded Boucher to open a spot for a player that will get bought out. Maybe Mike Conley, Lonzo Ball, or D'Angelo Russell.
100%.
That is definitely in the cards. I think a guy like Mike Conley would be amazing for Boston. Because you do need that point guard play, that vet off the bench to kind of like help the younger guys out. Because the Celtics, obviously, they've gone away from this like old school contender team of Al Horford, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, who's now a Golden State Warrior, and you kind of have brought in some new faces. Obviously, we know Peyton Pritchard's now elevating his role. You draft Hugo Gonzalez, you have Jordan Walsh sitting there, you have Baylor Shireman, and I think someone like Mike Conley would be the perfect person to replace Chris Boucher because Boucher hasn't played in 3 months. So
Yeah, and also again, Luka Garza coming on as the backup center, and Namias Queta, looking great, makes Boucher a lot more just expendable, and he's on a cheaper deal. You call Utah will take it on in a second for a second round pick, of course. If you attach it to it, Boucher as well. So
Oh, so we got Zets is in Twitch. So shout out to you. My fault, Zets. I didn't have the Twitch stuff up, so that's on me. But yeah.
Kmart's a Cavs fan from Louisville, Kentucky. We have actually been to Kentucky.
We have, yes.
We've not been to Louisville. We've been to Lexington. So are you a Kentucky fan or are you a Louisville fan? I would assume Louisville.
All right, so the scroll wheel is kind of glitching on me. It's like scrolling down everywhere.
Do you want me to say for the next trend? I have all of them up.
I just got to put it on the screen though.
Got it. Okay.
I had to refresh the page because my scroll wheel it's still glitching. There we go. Okay, I fixed it. Because if you look at the VOD, everything was like flying down the screen. It was kind of insane. Yeah. So that was the Shams bomb he was talking about. So let's put it on the screen right now. My fault. So it says the Boston Celtics are trading Chris Boucher to the Utah Jazz. So another Jazz trade taking on another player who they're presumably going to waive again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that opens up the roster spot. And, the Jazz are just the kings of doing these kind of trades. And I just like looking at the comments whenever the Jazz make a trade because it's kind of funny. But look, I mean, there could be a role for Boucher considering Kessler is out for the season, but I just don't really see the minutes for him. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
You already have Yusuf Nurkic. You have what's his face, Kyle Filipowski, and the scroll wheel's broken again. So there's something wrong with the mouse. I don't know what it is, but what is it doing? Let me close Twitter because it's only happening on Twitter.
Maybe close Chrome.
Yeah, I can't close Chrome because I have everything. Oh my God, because my iPad's leaning on the space bar.
Oh, there you go.
That makes a ton of sense. So sorry for the inconvenience, chat. Again, it's our first time streaming in the studio in a few months. So we're kind of getting there. But Antoine, if you want to keep an eye on the Twitch chat to see if anyone else comes in, just because I can't.
Yeah, let me
I can't see it every time.
I will pull up Twitch.
Because we don't have enough monitors. Yeah, all right, so let's go all the way back down. We'll find the next trade because there was another trade made that night. But I think bottom line is we'll kind of see what happens regarding the Cavs adding these two new pieces. And I'll leak it for you guys that are in the stream because y'all are real ones. In next week's episode, we will be grading every single trade from the trade deadline. We just recorded a different episode yesterday, so it will be a little bit different, but you'll kind of get a glimpse of what we're kind of doing. So we'll put the next trade on the screen. This is an interesting one. The Atlanta Hawks traded Vit Krejci to the Blazers for Duop Reath and 2 future second-round picks. So obviously we know this has kind of been the rise of Vit Krejci over the past couple years, gone from this end of the bench guy to consistent role player, and he had some pretty big games against both LA teams over the past month. And this for the Blazers I think is a good bench piece to add. He adds more shooting to a team that desperately needs it because guys like Toumani Camara just aren't efficient from the three-point line. So how do you see him adding value to the Blazers as they try and make this playoff push? Because they are, I believe, either in a play-in spot or just outside of it.
Yeah, they're outside of it. I just saw the standings.
Yeah.
Listen, Vit is someone that, we saw earlier in the season take the minutes for Trey when he was injured.
Yeah.
Noah was kind of still getting into the flow of things, and he had some nice games dropping 25+ and, efficient from 3, like Tyler said. So going to the Trailblazers, of course, a team that's going to sneak in probably to the play-in, hopefully, at the end of the year, and has a great surrounding cast around him. We talked about it yesterday. Vit's going to have a nice bench role there. And they only give up Duop Reath. Duop Reath's not really playing much, So when you see something like that, an opportunity arises to bring someone like that in to just help the bench as well.
Yeah.
And the younger guys as well. So very just, minor trade, of course, but can have major impact come playoff time if, again, they're in the play-in. and you put him in for some minutes, and you're gonna get 3-pointers, and some experience to I don't know where I'm going with this,
If you
but
want to,
that's all I really have.
if you want to, you could also turn Gio's lights off. You kind of look like a ghost.
I know, right? I was gonna say that.
Keep yours on because we're kind of battling the sun here.
Oh, just now trade.
All right,
Knicks.
Let's go to the top of the Shams tweet. All right, here we go. Okay, so the New York Knicks are acquiring Jose Alvarado from the New Orleans Pelicans.
We've known this for like so many months.
Yeah, but we need to figure out who the. I wonder if this is a part of the Gershon Yabusele trade.
I was exactly going to say that before.
I imagine it has to be part of it. So thank you, Zets, for letting us know about the Shams tweets. Zets is kind of our Shams notey guy. I appreciate it. And Kmart said Louisville, Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell, Louisville's finest.
Yeah.
Haven't had really a good player from Louisville in a while, though. So it's kind of fallen off ever since Rick Pitino and company left. But, it kind of is what it is. As a Knicks fan, Antoine, how do you feel about Alvarado joining your team, knowing you already have a few undersized point guards on the roster?
So, our backup point guard, besides Tyler Kolek, Deuce McBride's injured. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. That's the thing. But I really don't see Deuce is not really a point guard type of guy. He's more of a shooting guard. So Alvarado clearly is taking over as the primary backup point guard. I want to see what they're giving up. That is the biggest thing. If it is Yabusele, I don't know how this gets done.
Yeah.
With Chicago, but Alvarado comes back home. He's from New York, so great bench depth for us, obviously, as the backup point guard, presumably in my eyes. And we'll see what he can do. I know he's very flashy. He's very vocal. We probably need someone like that to help this team in the playoffs and just, whatchamacallit, bring the energy.
Yeah, kind of bring that Hispanic TJ energy.
Exactly.
To the vibe. Look, I think he's a good piece for you specifically in the sense of he can kind of do it all. He can defend, he can shoot, he can play make, he's fast. He does remind me of a guy like TJ McConnell. And I think that could be a big reason why you do win playoff series because your bench play is so important. When the Nets lost Game 7 against the Bucks, our bench scored a combined 0 points. And when your bench isn't contributing, the starters are overexerting themselves. And let's be honest, of all the time, it's not like, whatchamacallit, you're not going to get all 5 guys playing consistently well. There's going to be at least one player that's playing like crap. So at the end of the day, someone like him can be the guy that brings that spark. It really just depends on what you gave up. Because if you do wind up giving up a guy like Deuce McBride, it essentially does make sense because, one of them is going to be taking the minutes. So I guess we'll kind of wait to see what happens with regard to...
Yeah, so I have it here. So the Knicks, so if you guys didn't know, Yabusele got traded to the Bulls last night. And this morning, it was Knicks Twitter was saying that it's not official yet because they're trying to make this trade bigger. So they are rerouting Dalen Terry, who was going over to the Knicks for Yabusele.
Yeah.
They're rerouting him and attaching multiple second-round picks to acquire Alvarado. So I'm assuming Terry and Alvarado and the second-round picks are going to the Pelicans.
Yeah, they are.
And the Bulls, I don't know what they're...
Let me actually
Yabusele's probably going to go to the Bulls.
I'm just going to go to Underdog because they usually post the full trade details.
That's probably how I'm looking at this.
Underdog NBA, let's see. So yeah, here we go. So it's actually not part of the Yabusele trade, I don't think. It says the trade summary, the Knicks get... Oh, so I guess it was just like a secondary move. So the Yabusele trade for Dalen Terry was by itself.
Yes.
And the Knicks are going to receive Alvarado from the Pelicans and then just flip Dalen Terry and the second-round picks over to the Pelicans. So that does make, I guess, some sense. The Pelicans can... But there's no incentive for the Pelicans to tank. They should have gotten at least a better player back for Alvarado.
I was just going to say that. Dalen Terry is nothing crazy for them. They get second-round picks.
Yo, we got Gio in the chat. He said, yo, boys might call in about 20 minutes. Getting ready for work right now. All good, brother.
Where do you see that?
In the chat, on YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah, Gio's in the YouTube chat.
No, he's not. Oh, yes, he is. I see him.
Yo,
sorry,
my guy Giovanni, bro. What's going on, bro? How you doing today?
Gio, Rob is in Chicago now, man. You got to get the jersey.
Yeah, it's true. Rob Dillingham is a Chicago Bull.
And we get Grand Theft Alvarado. We're gonna take that nickname so much now in New York.
Even
That's gonna be.
even though GTA is in an LA inspired game, we'll allow it. But anyways, let's get into the next trade. We already talked about Vít Krejci.
Yeah,
Do we want to talk about any of the three big trades that we talked about on the pod?
that's the thing. Because guys, we've recorded the 3 big trades, which were Harden, Triple J, and AD. If you want to go to the podcast and watch that, we talked about it a lot yesterday.
Well, the pod's not going to be out till Monday.
Yeah, the pod not gonna be out till Monday. Do you
Yeah.
want us to go over those
We
3
could
trades?
breeze it. Yeah, we could breeze through it at least from our perspective. So at least let's get to this first one. So here we go. I'm not going to click because it keeps leading me to whatchamacallit. It keeps leading me to other areas that I don't. It keeps like refreshing the page on me. All right, so here we go. Gio said, so excited about Rob getting his new opportunity. Gio, the problem is there's 2 problems. One, there's like 80 guards on the Bulls, and 2, I can't even see Antoine because there's so much sunlight coming in.
You know what we're gonna do? I have no idea what we're gonna do.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything we can do.
What
You may have to turn your other light off.
do
That
you
might
mean?
be.
They're both off.
They're both off.
They are both off.
Yeah, you're kind of cooked over there.
I am cooked. I just saw that.
Yeah, there's nothing we could do. So apologize for Antoine looking like a ghost. But anyways, let's talk about the next trade we got here. We have the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade to the Utah Jazz. This involved a lot of players. This involved a ton of moving pieces. So I'll just, I'll kind of breeze through it for ease of use. So the Grizzlies traded Jaren Jackson, John Conchar, Jock Landale, Vince Williams. Those are the 4 players going from Memphis over to Utah. And Utah, in return, sends back Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, and George Niang. So I guess just in its very simplest, most brief terms, Antoine, your thoughts on this move?
Yeah, very shocking move. The first thoughts that came to my mind, Utah takes on someone that's a DPOY guy candidate, and some other guys. Jock got rerouted. We talked about that, of course, and Vince Williams is a nice throw-in piece for them. Young guy that could really fill up the stat sheet for the Grizzlies like it did this year.
Yeah.
And the lineup for the Jazz is looking really good. You have Keontae breaking out, of course, Laurie, Triple J, Walker Kessler when he comes back, Ace Bailey, and you have a team that's somewhat going to be now in contention next year. Of course, keeping health in mind with all of these guys that are out, obviously.
Right.
So just very good from Utah. You give up 3 firsts, they kind of have a lot more, so it's not really much. You get rid of guys like, that are not playing, Anderson, Niang, Hendricks. Walter Clayton is expendable because of how great Keontae and Isaiah Collier have been.
Right.
And really no spot for him there in Utah. They did draft him this past year. They used the first round pick on him. But when you have Collier and Keontae, and now Vince Williams. So again, regardless, Clayton's a lot more expendable. And Utah's looking really good for next year. And we did say that as well.
Start the Walter Clayton fan club of just getting all of his jerseys because he's been traded so many times. I do have an idea. Turn your dynamic range on the Elgato app to low or to standard because right now it's on high and it's contrasting badly with the sunlight. So while you do that, I'll read some more comments in the chat. So Zet Step said, I knew Alvarado value was low, but Dalen Terry, Joe Dumars is so dumb. I mean, that second statement is just the norm.
You have to do that because it's plugged into the PC.
Oh, it is. That's a good point. Let me see if I could quickly do this.
You know what? I low-key... Oh, my goodness. I wish that tree was bigger.
Yeah, I wish it was too.
I would low-key get...
It's already on standard.
I would...
So you're just cooked.
No, you know what I'm going to do?
Unless you turn the camera towards the bookshelf.
You know what I'm going to do? I am going to have to... Let's see.
Unless you just move the Geo seat and move your camera with you.
It's possible.
Yeah. Because the thing is, Antoine, the sunlight's not
it's
there.
Directly on me. I see it.
If you turn towards the bookshelf, you'll be able to see it. Like you'll be able to not have sunlight because the bookshelf over there has no sunlight. So if you rotate the camera, I'm just gonna put it on. I'll just keep it up for now.
I'm gonna go over here.
Okay, that's fair. So Antoine's gonna move around for now. So sorry for the technical difficulties, but I'll just read some more chats. Kmart said George Niang, Ty Jerome reunion in Memphis. Yep, they reunited after their stint in Cleveland together last season. And he said, I don't know why I like George Niang so much, but I hope he gets healthy and plays meaningful minutes. It's an interesting one because someone like Niang is a good vet in the sense of he helps the younger guys, and he comes off the bench and gives you some 3-and-D, some post defense. He's not a great player. Let's just call a spade a spade. He was decent at best in Philly, and you know, he didn't really provide the value that he didn't provide the value that Embiid really needed off the bench. I remember there was a game against the Nuggets. The Nuggets came back from down 15, and the game was tied. Jokic hit this ridiculous floater, and there was like 5 seconds left. Embiid passed it to Niang in the corner, and he hit the side of the backboard. I'm telling you right now, Anthony, the sunlight's just as bad over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna move the couch down this way.
Okay. Do you need help with that, or you got it? All right, good. So I can just stay put here. I just muted your mic, so there's no other thing. So Antoine has to move the couch all the way down. This is why we don't record during the day, because we run into situations like this where we're not able to do any of this stuff. So we apologize for the inconvenience with all of that nature. All right, bet. So let's move into the next trade at least while we wait for Antoine, because the Jaren Jackson trade we already kind of breezed through. We have another bit of a 3-team deal. Obviously, this is a little bit outdated because Mike Conley got moved to a different team, but the Chicago Bulls and Detroit Pistons agreed to a multi-team deal that sent Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley to Chicago, Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric to the Pistons, and the Timberwolves just received cash considerations back in return. Zet said, I will be so surprised if the Bulls don't trade Colin Sexton, Anthony Simons, or Trey Jones and keep all 6 guards. It's an interesting one because I feel like the Bulls are just jam-packed with smaller players. You got to move the couch down even further. Yeah. It could be, you don't need the light, so I think you're good. Because you could choose the charger on the far end. Block it with anything? I don't know if there's anything. You could probably take a look, but I'm honestly not too sure.
I think I have a perfect idea. I am gonna do it.
We got MRGG set Chrome as your default. I'm on Chrome. I'm very much in Google Chrome, as you can see. But, it is what it is. Kmart said, let's go. Did another trade happen? Let me duplicate the tab. Let's go to the top of Shams and see if anything went down. Okay, yeah, it's just the Knicks are sending Dalen Terry and 2 second-round picks. Nothing else of that nature. So that's fine. But yeah, as far as back to the Jaden Ivey trade, I kind of knew that his time was up in Detroit. The broken leg really kind of set him back. And I think the Pistons being this good and Duncan Robinson being this good essentially made him expendable. And now you bring in a guy in Kevin. He looked depleted. Okay, this guy's just a hater, so it's fine. I'm just going to ignore him. Whatchamacallit? It says you bring in a guy that replaces Malik Beasley, which is honestly what this team needed. And I firmly believe this was the right decision by the Pistons front office because Cade needs a consistent second scorer. If you do want to win a championship, you have to be better than what Jaden Ivey's giving you right now. And this team is starting to get some more experience around them. Like Duncan Robinson played in 2 finals this decade. That kind of value is important. In the 2023 finals, he alone won the Heat game 2. So I think that's an important piece to have for JB Bickerstaff, who wants to elevate this team to the next level and, kind of get this ship sailing. And you bring in a guy like Kevin Huerter, who's also made a deep playoff run. He played in a conference finals less than 4 years ago, or less than 5 years ago, technically now. I think that's the shooting you need. I do think they need a better second option down the line, to kind of give them more consistency, but it's fine. Kmart said, I cannot believe Caris LeVert is still a Piston. I'm not really surprised by that. I don't really think there's enough value for him to get anything decent back. I think he was essentially your shooting guard placement for maybe a guy like Malik Beasley, who, while he doesn't fill the exact role, he fills that roster spot as this dynamic, shifty backup guard. He played that role in Indiana. He played that role in Brooklyn very well, and you saw him do that in Cleveland last year. So I didn't really expect Caris to get moved, Nets legend Caris LeVert, but, it is what it is. Obviously, Conley got flipped to Charlotte in the Kobe White trade, which we'll talk about, in just a few moments. But that's kind of that trade. As far as it goes, we'll get Antoine's general thoughts when he sits back down. We got 24 of y'all in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, let us know where you're chatting from. Let us know your favorite team is. What's been your favorite trade so far? We're also going to answer any of your questions if you have them. So let us know. Let's get into the next trade we got. While we wait for Antoine to finish setting up. That's a bunch of sham stuff on the Jaren Jackson thing. Here we go. We got another trade saying the Chicago Bulls trading center Nikola Vucevic and a second-round pick to the Boston Celtics for Anthony Simons. So, yeah, we knew Anthony Simons was going to get flipped coming over from Portland in the Drew Holiday trade. And this would be a rental. The Bulls finally got off of Vucevic after a very long 4 to 5 years of him being on that roster. On there for a lot longer than I thought. There was a lot of Warriors rumors last season, but this is essentially the stretch big that they needed. I can finally see Antoine at a clear angle, so that's at least good. The funniest thing is, you didn't need to move it that far. You just never moved your webcam.
No, I did move it.
Oh, you did move it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so you're good because I just don't see you. Yeah. So, yeah, for those of you that are just tuning in, Anthony had to move the couch all the way down because the sunlight is literally all in the wall, as you can see if you rewind the stream back, even like 5 to 7 minutes, because I'm not going to say the other number that goes along with it. But based on what I've seen from Celtics fans and from the Celtics players themselves, they really loved Anthony Simons as a teammate. Him and Baylor Shireman sat next to each other on the plane and on the bus. Called them the Coke Boys because they used to just, I guess, have Cokes together. And him and Xavier Tillman, their kids were all close. And Jaylen Brown had a really nice interview, called him one of the best teammates he ever had, and just a really good dude in general. So shout out to Anthony Simons. I've always known he was that kind of person because my aunt does work for the Portland Trailblazers, so she kind of knows the ins and outs of that roster and who the guys are. As for Vooch, I actually really like this for Boston. Not for the long term because he is in his 30s and he is, kind of plateaued as far as his game goes compared to his All-Star seasons back in Orlando. But, as far as this trade in its totality, I do think it's a semi-win-win because you gave up Vooch and you got back a young dynamic guard, and Anthony Simons kind of joins that whole pack of, 28 point guards they got on their roster. And you could easily do a sign-in trade with him in the offseason. Or if you're really in cap hell, you can just let him go, and then everything will be good from there. And we finally got Anthony Cavino back in the cut.
This is so much better.
He's back. So there we go. You probably do, yeah. Let's see. We got Bashir Nimri saying Karis LeVertigo. Yeah, we called him that once, I think, when he was in Brooklyn, and then we also called him LeVertical when he would go up for a dunk. And then we got Steven in the chat. What's going on? Pacers fan here. You think they'll trade Mathurin? Personally, I hope they do. Nembhard is a better, more consistent option next to Tyrese. Now, Steven, you're a Pacers fan. I do want to let you know that last summer I predicted the Indiana Pacers to get to the NBA Finals in 2025, and that's been my good Pacers lore from kind of the start. And, I've been a firm believer in that team since they really got Pascal Siakam, if I'm being honest with you. I have a tweet from like June of 24 saying if they're healthy next season, they would make a deep run. Mathurin is gone. I think we'll be honest with ourselves here. They're trying to get Ivica Zubac. I think he is absolutely a Clipper. And Nembhard should be the guy to keep. I mean, Nembhard is one of the best playoff risers in the NBA right now. And with him on that team next to Tyrese Halliburton, there really is no need to move him unless you win the lottery and feel super confident about Darren Peterson. Otherwise, there's no need to trade him. So, Antoine, what are your thoughts on Steven's comment about the Pacers? And then give us your rundown on both the Mike Conley trade for Jaden Ivey and the Anthony Simons trade.
My camera look good? I'll turn my mic on too, by the way.
Sorry about that.
You good? Am I good camera-wise?
You're perfect.
Okay. I'm looking at it right now. The light looks somewhat okay.
Yeah, if anything, you can move one of the ring lights over, but you're good for now.
Wow, 27 of you in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm just reading back everything. So, yeah, I think Mathurin is gone. If it is Zubac, like we said before, 100% he'll be gone. That's someone that could easily entice the Clippers. And, of course, you bring back Zub, who's a lot more important for Indy than Mathurin is, because once Hallie's back, the starting five is kind of set in stone. Obi Toppin will be back, of course, if he, is he not a free agent? I don't think so.
No, Obi Top. I don't know if he's on an expiring. He might have an opt out,
Okay.
but it was a weird contract situation when they traded him from New York to Indiana.
Okay.
So let me go look let me go look at the payroll right now. I think
Yeah,
that's a smart thing to
I
do.
think that is. Oh, Tyler, you just flipped. Okay.
Yeah, like I fixed it
Okay, got it.
because you're looking the other way.
Got it. I just saw that literally. So, Steven, I think next year is going to be the Pacers. Obviously, they'll be back, and I think they will.
PC black screen. Sorry about that, y'all.
Also near I don't know where Howland Island is. Somebody said that.
Yeah, everything just crashed on me.
Yeah, I'm reading through a lot of your comments, but back to Steven. I'm sorry, I was getting sidetracked. Nemhard is a better, more consistent option next to Tyrese. Yes, 100%. We saw that playoff time last year. So easily, next year is going to be great with both of those guys back in the starting five. If you bring in Zubac, you have a nice center. You have Spicy P, Neesmith, and then the bench can always get, some guys in the offseason. You could trade for guys. You could sign for somebody.
Yeah.
You have Obi Toppin coming back. You would have Quentin Jackson, Isaiah Jackson. Mathurin's spot there isn't really in the starting five anymore, honestly. So you're going to have him off the bench. And again, if you need a center, it makes him a lot more expendable. TJ McConnell's still there. Jarris Walker. Jay Huff's going to be your backup center. And you'll be perfectly fine for next year.
I do have the Pacers payroll on the screen right now. So Obi Toppin has, after this season, he has 2 more years left on his contract. He's set to make 15 and 16 in the next 2 years. So he's going to be the other piece you move in any higher salary trade. And for someone like Ivica Zubac, who I think makes around the 20 mil range, I do think it is warranted. Mr. RRGD said a new Shams trade. I'm just going to take him at face value and believe him.
No.
Not? Okay, fair enough.
Nope.
He is just being a troll. I thought he changed, but it is okay.
What was he saying before that he's being a hater?
Oh, he said I looked like I was deficient in iron.
I don't know. Okay, whatever.
It's whatever.
We're going to remove you from the chat, bro.
No, we're not. We're going to keep him for now.
Okay.
Just behave yourself. Behave yourselves in the chat. Respect each other, but it is what it is. But looking at the Pacers payroll, again, it's very solid. I think most teams are in sort of this cap hell where you have guys that are expiring and you're going to have to get off of some pieces. Look at the Thunder in the next maybe 3 to 4 years when you have guys like J-Dub and Chet making 50+ mil and stuff like that. Next season, Halliburton's locked in for the next 4 years. Siakam's locked in for the next 2. Nemhard the next 2. Really, your only player that you really have to... There really isn't anyone unless Neesmith opts out of his contract, which I don't even think he can. So this team's looking really solid on the cap end. Benedict Mathurin's the only one on an expiring. Jarris Walker, they're going to pick up the 4th-year option on, which is an $8.4 million option. And then Ben Shepherd is likely going to get traded as well. What's up, Prince? What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
Prince.
Shout out to my guy, Prince.
Wait, did you see that guy is from St. Thomas? We were there.
We were there. I also, again,
ago.
He's a troll. I don't know if he's actually from there.
Oh, that's completely true.
That is very true. But Prince, how you doing today, my brother? How's everything been? Prince is a Timberwolves fan, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So, Prince, it does not look like you guys are getting Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I'm sorry, Tyler. I didn't mean to be a bad boy. It's okay. Like I said, I don't want to be too strict with everything of that nature. Just I'm all about the respect. You respect me, I respect you back.
Just behave in the chat. That's
exactly.
That's all we ask for.
That's why we have some very wonderful mods. Shout out Prince, shout out Kev, shout out Moses, shout out Jacob. We'll probably see them at some point later on here and there. But I like the Pacers cap sheet right now. Their payroll next season is going to be 182. I do think that's still under the second apron. I think the second apron's around 189. But once next season kicks in, then you got to start worrying about further extensions, because that's when Nemhard will be 2 years out, Neesmith will be 2 years out. Those are really the only 2 you got to really focus on. And again, a lot of this can be mitigated with AJ DeBansta, with Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, whoever. And I think that's going to be the most important thing, because Siakam is someone that is old. Siakam's 31 years of age. We don't know how much longer he's going to be playing at this type of level. So you can find more trades down the line and everything of that nature. So Prince said, break is almost over, so I have you lot on the office computer. Oh, shout out to Prince on the office while at work. Kmart said OKC TikTok stock is rising. Yes, we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes
I don't know what that is.
because I'm just going to skip right to it right now. We're just going to talk about it because I'm going up to it right now. The 76ers traded Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a first-round pick. First of all, I'm shocked at the fact that they traded a first-round pick. I didn't think Sam Presti was capable of it. And the second thing is they got rid of my sunshine. Him, Maxey, and Edgecombe were the sunshines. They were the great smiling players. They were amazing together. But, it's super unfortunate that he had to go. He just didn't look right this year. He tore his meniscus last year, came into the season, hurt his wrist in the preseason, and just didn't come back good. Went down to the G League for some time. And now, Antoine, this is a really good steal for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The rich get richer. What are your thoughts?
I mean, listen, big fan of Jaren McCain. Not only the basketball player, but the person. I'm sure, if you watched the draft tonight, you saw like his interviews and everything. He was just so fun to watch and how he speaks. And first year in Philly was phenomenal before he got injured. And, he gets sent to the Thunder. And it's just like, out of every team to take on someone like this, who we've seen be so great in the past, it's just fool's gold for them at this point. And, they got a first for him in 3 seconds. Philly can't complain on that, honestly. So, good for Philly. We know VJ and Tyrese is the backcourt as of right now, and it's going to be like that for the future. McCain gets a fresh start, obviously, in OKC, which he'll be, SGA's out for quite a while. All-Star break is kind of the estimate.
Yeah,
so
it's like 3 weeks.
So you get him in. You have Isaiah Joe as your backup. McCain can low-key easily start at the point guard for them until he comes back, and then get shipped to a bench role with AJ Mitchell. You have two of the best guys coming off the bench in their own position and what they do.
Yeah.
McCain could be a sneaky sixth man for next year, not this year, but sixth man of the year for next year. And he could also even get starting minutes next to SGA. You could put him at the 2.
I wonder if they updated the roster on
move
Basketball
somebody
Reference.
to the bench, obviously.
Yeah.
But just phenomenal. I forget they have Nikola Topic as well. We don't know what's going on with him. Hopefully, he'll be back on the court soon.
I don't think we'll see him this season.
Next season.
Yeah, next season we'll definitely see him. I don't think they updated the roster yet. Ousmane Dieng is still there, but this is a really good move for Sam Presti. I mean, Jared McCain was a steal in last year's draft, and you saw what he was able to do. We literally did a player spotlight on him almost a year ago to the date, and what I love about his game is he's lights out from the 3. I love the way he probes around when he's just trying to find the open guy, creating the space for everybody else. And his playmaking ability is so slept on. With SGA out for the next few weeks, you might see him start at the point guard some nights if AJ Mitchell's or he doesn't have it going or anything of that nature. I do think this is a smart move for Sam Presti. He'll provide good minutes in the playoffs. And I think this is a player you can build on and count on when you have other guys on this roster that might not have it going that night. I do think he's better than Isaiah Joe. I think he will turn out better than someone like him or Aaron Wiggins for that matter. So I have a lot of stock in this kid. I think he's going to be really good. And, it's an unfortunate loss for the 76ers, but I think they'll be okay. So, and then Mr. GD said, okay, to be for real, like for a second, can we agree that Kawhi traveled on that shot against the Sixers? The Kawhi shot in Game 7.
He
I don't know.
Traveled. No,
I don't think
it was a step back.
Because like the thing with travels in the NBA is like the gather step. Like you never know. It's so tough.
Yeah, I don't see that. I may have to rewatch the vid, but no, I would easily. We've seen that shot so many times. I feel like a lot of us would have said it's a travel. So I don't buy that.
Understandable.
Right now.
Let's get into the next trade. We'll breeze through this because we talked about it on the pod. But the Clippers and Cavs flipped James Harden for Darius Garland. How do we feel about this one, Antoine?
This one was look up the shot. Okay, on our own time we will. So this one is okay. I mean, because I don't know if we were filming, but we weren't. Monday night, I went to bed and wake up in the next morning and you see the tweet that Harden is working on a trade with the Cavaliers. Garland and Cleveland is what's supposedly going to happen. So I was like, all right, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And, the day goes by and it happens. And immediately we, send it in the chat and the value does not, add up completely for both of these guys. But if you take it back into like retrospect, Darius Garland for Cleveland was not seeing the court for.
Oh, okay. Can I know why they traded for Jose Alvarado. Because
Okay.
Underdog Sports just tweeted that Deuce McBride will undergo surgery for a sports hernia and he'll be sidelined for the rest
Wow.
of the regular season. So
Okay.
this is an insurance move for the New York Knicks. This makes a ton of sense. Obviously now regarding the situation that Deuce McBride will be out. So I had a feeling there was going to be some news regarding him if you were bringing in an undersized backup point guard that can shoot the three at an elite level. So yeah, that's a massive blow for the Knicks. But I mean, to be honest, you have Alvarado coming in, you have Jordan Clarkson off the bench, you have Shamet playing well. I don't think it's okay. I mean, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, that's definitely sad for us. Hope he gets better. We need him back playoff time. He's someone that we can rely on a lot for 3-point shooting, the defense, and it's I'm a little hurt because I love seeing him play. And sports hernia is no joke.
Yeah, it's bad.
So rest up and playoff time with your back. That's amazing for us.
Kmart said, I miss Darius Garland. They should have let my PG heal his turf toe in peace.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like so caught in two minds with this trade because I like Darius Garland a lot. I know how much Cleveland fans love him. But if we're being honest, James Harden is the better player. And if you are trying to win a championship, it makes the most sense by far to go for James Harden. And look, Darius Garland, there's a chance he can turn into this incredible player. But if you're trying to compete now, especially if you're trying to get LeBron James in the summer, he works so much better with a guy like James Harden, with Donovan Mitchell. And, we'll see what happens. The Cavs can make a move for Giannis in the offseason, package together Mobley and picks, and you have a very decent chance of that happening. I think the Bucks would covet a player like Evan Mobley, and it's a big risk. And the Cavs could be pretty bad after that whole era is over. So,
Yeah.
again, if you want to check out our full details on that trade, Pod will be out on Monday where we talk about it in depth and detail. And we'll do the last trade in depth and detail out of the pod ones. That's the wrong one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just finish what I said before Tyler said about Deuce. Like,
Yeah.
for Cleveland, you get someone that's really good as of recently. For LA, of course. Hopefully it does transfer to Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell
Yeah.
and Mobley and Jared Allen. And, Garland's time in Cleveland is short-lived and goes into the Clippers, and they take on someone that could be one of the best point guards for them in recent years. Could be an all-star. You put him next to Kawhi. We're still waiting on Zubac. We'll see what happens with that. But again, I feel like for both sides, it's a win-win. High risk, high reward for both sides as well. So we'll see what happens because again, a lot can be predicated on Garland's health and if he does play for the Clippers long term
Yeah.
or not. And then we know Harden's career is coming down in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So
And
again,
Kmart just said it makes so much sense on paper, but it doesn't make sense in my heart. Yeah, that's the
Exactly.
thing. That was how I felt when we traded Jared Allen to you guys in the James Harden trade because you wanted to acquire James Harden. This was before his PR was in the drink, and Jared Allen was a player that I really wanted to keep here. And it just sucks that I do believe if we had Jared Allen, we probably would have won the championship if we were able to keep him. We would have been able to keep him if Dinwiddie didn't get hurt because the Cavs really wanted Dinwiddie. But once he got hurt, that kind of kept it as a done deal. So it's unfortunate. But the next trade is on the screen right now. Again, we'll kind of breeze through this one. What's up, Erod? I remember you from previous streams. The Knicks got Jose Alvarado. Yes, we did talk about that one already. And we also just talked about Deuce McBride being out for at least the rest of the regular season. But let's be honest, even if he comes back for the playoffs, if Alvarado's cooking, I don't really see minutes for Deuce kind of coming back after all these months, kind of disrupting the flow they're in. But let's talk about the big time trade. The Dallas Mavericks trading Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, Nets legend D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Wizards for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 2 firsts and 3 seconds. Antoine, thoughts?
Again, another trade that is just completely out of the blue. Get shipped to Washington. Pair him up with Trae Young. Supposedly they're signing him to long-term deals, which
Have to, yeah.
kind of have to get it done. You give up pretty much just 2 firsts. A lot of guys that are thrown in there. Chris Middleton. The Mavericks move on from AD. Just like that, the Luka trade. Their return is a lot more now, but again, does not suffice the just amount that we would, of course, think that Luka would go for.
Right.
Obviously. And Washington, again, looking really good starting 5-wise. and the team that can come up next year, like Utah as well. And just Dallas, I don't know what's going on. Full rebuild, of course, now. And again, the Kyrie AD, whatchamacallit, Kyrie AD duo lasted not even 20 games last year.
They played. I think they didn't play much. No, they only played 3 quarters because Anthony Davis played the first game, got hurt, and then Kyrie tore his ACL not even like 2 weeks later. So Kmart said Anthony day-to-day street clothes Davis will play 22 games next season. Not great 2 first though. Yeah, so like what you're seeing right now, the return for Anthony Davis is essentially the return they got for Luka Doncic plus Max Christie and an additional first-round pick. So
Exactly.
not ideal. I guess Cooper Flag could be formed as like this pseudo return because it definitely just felt like a handshake type of deal from Adam Silver. I'm not going to accuse the guy of doing that type of stuff, but at the same time, it's a little bit
of
a little
course
bit sketchy.
If you don't get the number 1 overall pick, obviously it's a lot. As a Mavs fan, you're like completely lost.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag, makes it of course a lot better for them, but regardless, I feel like they're still feeling the same way they did last year.
I always like those ripple effect things though, because if you guys, I don't know if you guys in the chat have heard the reports, but the Washington Wizards really wanted Ace Bailey and they wanted to trade into the top 5 to get him. And the Hornets were going to swap with them. They were in talks to swap the 4th and the 6th pick. The problem was the Hornets were afraid that if they traded that pick away, that Con Kneppel would get picked at 5th by the Jazz, leaving them with Trey Johnson. So they wound up saying no. Ace Bailey goes to Utah. Trey Johnson goes into Washington. Trey Johnson, I don't really think there's a high ceiling for him as a first or second option, but as a really confident third option, as a young player that's got really good confidence, I think he's a good fit for that team. And Kmart said, I still really, really like the Mavs. Cooper Flag is a dog. Yeah. I said going into the season, he'd be a generational talent. I don't want to let Wemby distract everybody from the talent Cooper Flag is, because right now, if we're kind of basing this off eligibility and durability, Cooper Flag might be better than Wembanyama in the next few years. If Wemby plays 50 games every year, then that's something we have to talk about. However, it kind of is what it is. I think Anthony Davis next to Alex Sarr will be a lot of fun, and you pair Trae Young with Keyshawn George, it would be good. Bashir said, Pistons really going to go into the playoffs without a legit backup point guard? Yeah, I mean, I think as of right now, Dennis Jenkins is on a 2-way, so he's not playoff eligible. So you have to get off of that contract to one way or another. But Bashir, let me propose the thought of Mike Conley in the buyout market. I think someone who's been in this league for a long time, looking for a change of scenery, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, you got Mike, you got Lonzo Ball. There could be others on there, obviously.
But for like competing for a championship, I don't think Lonzo Ball would necessarily help. I do think it's Mike Conley or bust in that situation.
Yeah, I honestly, in my eyes, I would take Mike over Lonzo because experience and he's healthy.
Yeah.
So
even I would dump a first round pick to go get Russ right now, if I'm being honest.
100%.
So I think he would help.
Yeah, same thing.
Rod said Ace would fit the Wiz more. Yes, it definitely made a ton of sense because they kind of needed that 3 where Trey Johnson just kind of topples on he topples on the guard, just kind of like what the Bulls are doing. So it is what it is. We'll talk more in depth on that in the pod. You'll get Gio's thoughts as well on all 3 of those big trades.
Chris Paul too.
Oh yeah,
he said I'll take Chris Paul at the moment.
Chris Paul would be a great fit.
Completely forgot about him.
But then again, Chris Paul, he said he was addicted to playing in the finals. So, he's been sober for a while. So shout out to Chris Paul there. We already talked about Jared McCain. Let's get into the next trade. Oh, here we go. Yeah. We talked about this with Mike Conley, and Mike Conley got flipped again as Kobe White joins the Charlotte Hornets along with Mike Conley in a trade that sent Colin Sexton and Ousmane Dieng, who got flipped from OKC, over to Chicago. So, Antoine, your thoughts?
Ty, first, can you move me into the middle of the screen a little bit?
Sorry about that, brother.
Because I just noticed that I'm going to be sitting here like this.
Yeah, make sure you stay there.
Okay.
Before you actually say that, Zetstep said the Mavs had one of the top 30 best player of all time in his prime. They traded him against his will, and the best asset they acquired in the trade was Giovanni Squitieri.
Yeah, exactly, Zets. We talked about that in the pod. And, the picks are whatever at this point, honestly, until we know what they are. And, the tweets are going to come up eventually when those picks are made, and that's going to be the full return.
Yeah.
But the players coming back again, nothing of notability to the Mavs. So you're just banking on the picks. You get Cooper Flag, of course, which is, a nice saving grace for them. But, we don't want to get into the whole conspiracy theory type of thing of that last year lottery.
Yeah, we're not. We love the NBA.
But yeah, it's, Cooper Flag is, what's bringing that team to, I guess,
New heights.
yeah, new heights and back to relevancy, of course, because if they didn't have him, there'd be no relevancy because Kyrie's out and he could get moved. Who knows?
Exactly.
So,
And then Kmart said Lonzo Ball is arguably the worst player this season. That's the craziest thing to say when D'Angelo Russell exists. So D'Angelo Russell's been terrible.
yeah,
But anyways,
a lot of guards have been awful that we were a lot better when we were growing up.
your thoughts on Kobe White, Antoine, to the Charlotte Hornets? This is an
Oof.
interesting move because they have LaMelo and Khan.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, the Hornets, we talked about them in the pod, they're on a 7-game win streak. I think they play tonight, so they'll be on an 8-game win streak.
Hopefully,
We'll see.
yeah.
Hopefully. Kobe on an expiring deal comes into Charlotte, and will take on that backup point guard role, presumably. So you have LaMelo, you have Khan, you have Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Musa Diabate. Kobe White essentially replaces Colin Sexton and is a lot, I guess, better Colin Sexton in, terms of what you view Colin Sexton, of course. I know Gio brought up the point that Sexton, in his eyes, is better than Kobe White. I really don't. I understand the logic, but I feel like Kobe White, for tenacity and playmaking and a lot of other things, for who he is as a character as well and basketball player, you're gonna get a lot of like just oomph from him and a bench punch more than I think Sexton.
Yeah.
Sexton's kind of more defensive guy. And we know Charlotte's a lot of scoring going on with the Melo, Khan, and Brandon Miller. So you add more scoring to the mix off the bench. And again, you're not really giving up much because he's an expiring deal. If you want to bring him back, you can bring him back in the offseason. If not, you don't give up much for him. Sexton was kind of the same deal with that.
Zed said Kobe White to win 6th Man of the Year in the 26-27 season. He's on an expiring deal. There's no guarantee he stays.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think a sign and trade for a better big man or a wing would make a ton of sense for Charlotte because that's what they need. Miles Bridges defensively just does not provide the value that Charlotte needs from him, quite frankly. And then Arad said, wouldn't be surprised if Flag would want to leave if Kyrie doesn't stay. I want to challenge that point because I actually think it's better for Cooper Flag if Kyrie does leave. You want Cooper Flag to run the show. I understand how good of a player Kyrie is, but I just don't think keeping Kyrie on this team while trying to develop this young roster makes no sense. Once Kyrie's healthy, you could easily get yourself a good package in return for him. At least keep him for the rest of this season. Let him come back in March if he wants to and play. If not, he becomes a deadline piece next season if they want to keep him. The Lakers do want Kyrie Irving, so they could easily find a way to get him there. And as for Kobe White, I mean, look, this gets the Charlotte Hornets into the playoffs, I think this makes them look pretty solid, and we'll kind of see what they do from here. Let's see. Anyone else said anything?
Erod said, for the role, Sexton was better. Yes, I understand what you mean. Again, it's very similar. I guess it's just pick your poison on what, who you want to choose, Sexton, Kobe White. Again, identically, they both do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just Charlotte's preference for, getting into the playoffs and what he brings to the team with the starting five.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I just think that they were going to lose Sexton in free agency. You have to get something back for him.
That's fair. And you get someone that's kind of the same, similar thing. So
Exactly.
It's up to them if they want to bring Kobe White back. If not, he'll get a payday somewhere else and start probably.
Exactly.
So,
Let's get into the next trade. Whoa, I just saw the chats in the vertical. That looks cool. We'll kind of breeze through this one. This is kind of a shorter trade. The 3-team trade between the Toronto Raptors, Brooklyn Nets, and Los Angeles Clippers that sent Chris Paul to Toronto, Ochai Agbaji, and a second-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets just waived Haywood Highsmith earlier today following the conclusion of that trade because the roster was full. And currently, as of right now, we're still waiting on a Cam Thomas trade. And this is where things are even more interesting in the fact that Giannis is not getting traded because the Bucks really want Cam Thomas. They're beating out the Cavs right now. The Cavs have kind of flatlined with talks. So talk about this first, like the Ochai Agbaji fit in Brooklyn, Chris Paul, and where do you think Cam Thomas goes? Because it's clear he's getting traded.
Yeah, we saw the tweet yesterday that he's out for personal reasons and is not traveling with the team. So
Deadline's in an
again,
hour and 45 minutes, by the
yeah,
way.
exactly. And more trades can come into after 3.
Yeah.
But very just random trade for everybody but Chris Paul because we know he was getting moved. Get shipped to Toronto. He's getting waived. We know that already. So he'll sign with the contender. The Clippers again move off. They're cleaning out the roster in Los Angeles. You saw Harden, you saw Chris Paul. We waiting on Zubac as well. We'll see. So again, Clippers not really just taking much on besides getting rid of Chris. The Nets are getting somebody that has shown promise when he was playing in Toronto at times. Former first round guy. 3-point shooter. Can really do a lot off the bench. So going to someone place like Brooklyn, you have so much opportunity.
Exactly.
And if he
yeah.
can rebuild, what we saw for him to be a first round pick when he was drafted and the things in Toronto, in Brooklyn, Brooklyn will find something there, diamond in the rough, like they always do with the guys they bring in sometimes. And
That's what Sean Marks is best at, drafting and just finding guys off the scrap heap. But
yeah,
he's not really a guy off the scrap heap. He's a player that I've liked for a while. He just hasn't really gotten the opportunity. Not that I'm saying he'll get it here, but
exactly.
I just like the fact that he'll get more minutes on Brooklyn than he will
Exactly.
in Toronto because he's a forward. The Nets have plenty of guards, more than what we can do with. And I like him as a backup to MPJ, which I hope he stays on the roster in the next 2 hours, which would be very ideal for me. We haven't really heard anything. No. So I do think MPJ will stay. And I think the Nets are kind of going to build around him with Yegor Dioman. And I'm curious to see what happens with Nick Claxton. I know the Lakers have been eyeing him, and the Celtics were before they got Vooch. But if the Pacers can't get Zubac, keep an eye out for Nick Claxton going to Indiana.
Oh, wow.
So that could be an interesting one. So that was, a little bit of a smaller trade. As we look for the next one, let's see. Let's go all the way up. I forgot. I accidentally clicked on the trade instead of just viewing it. The reason why I'm switching overlays is because they are showing SportsCenter clips, and I don't want to get copyrighted. So we are trying to avoid it all. You also saw that Jackson Hayes got suspended for pushing the Wizards mascot.
Yeah. Did you see the video?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Really crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he is a POS, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
That said, I think Chris Paul's career is over. I think he will not get signed. The teams will not want it if he announces at the end of the season. I mean, he is retiring at the end of the year. He just does not deserve to go out by that. And then Erod said Lakers are eyeing everyone. Yeah, you could look up any player. There is a Lakers jersey swap somewhere. That's like a good frame of reference.
Yeah.
This is a smaller. Do we really talk about Lonzo Ball getting traded to the Jazz and getting waived?
No, I think we kind of know what's going on with that whole situation.
Exactly. Let's see.
I gotta sneeze.
Yep. Bless you.
Oh my God.
Say bless you in the comments.
Yeah.
Or in the chat.
Thank you, guys.
Say bless you right now. We don't need to talk about Tyus Jones getting moved. Yes. Let's talk about this trade. Here we go. This is a big one. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Kuminga is a free man. He has been freed from his prison sentence under the Steve Kerr shackles. He has been traded to the Atlanta Hawks along with Buddy Hield in exchange for Tingus Pingus, Tingly Pingly, Tingle Pingle, and all of that stuff. So, Antoine, this is our first time talking about this because obviously the trade went down last night. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we just finished recording and this comes out and, we're first going to talk about it today. So, first thoughts, of course, Atlanta gets somebody that has major upside for them.
Yep.
And, they move off Trey already before. They move off Porzingis, which we kind of known was going to happen. It just was kind of a waiting game because Okongwu's come on really strong. They got Jock Landale. He's not playing. Apparently the Warriors wanted Porzingis for a long time, and they finally have gotten him. And you sacrifice, Kuminga, who's somebody that, is wanting to get moved for, the past year. So, again, I think win-win for both sides. I think majority for the Warriors that Porzingis, the health is a major issue. We've known that already. And if he plays, they could have gotten a lot more for Kuminga in other trade packages, depending on what was offered. Yeah. They move off Buddy Hield too. Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler were like the best of friends.
The duo's broken, man.
And is that a predecessor to Jimmy now getting moved or not coming back? Who knows?
They've indicated to teams that they were going to keep him. And once they figured out they couldn't get Giannis, you had to get off Kuminga because he was just going to walk in free agency. On the screen right now is Flight's reaction to the trade. which I kind of envisioned because he wanted Giannis, and I just thought it was really funny because, that's just what it is. But as far as like fit goes, when he's healthy, because Kmart said I thought Porzingis like died. And again, there's been a lot of chatter about Porzingis, whether he had AIDS or he had so many other diseases and stuff like that. Porzingis is dealing with a condition called POTS. It is a condition when you stand up, your heart rate elevates, and you feel like crap, and it's scary shit. It's not something that is enjoyable. It was actually a side effect that I had when I had COVID back in 2022. When you stand up, it just feels like you ran a damn marathon, and it's just not. It's not fun whatsoever. The flight vid was very funny. Yeah, we're very well. I'm very well versed in flight culture. And Zed said the only teams that I can see trying to get CP3 was the Suns, but they get Cole Anthony today and the Kings because Vivek only cared about money, aura, money, jersey sales, and money. Yeah, exactly. We did talk about that Suns trade earlier. If you guys want to do rewind the stream because it broke right as we started, and stuff like that. But yeah, I love the Buddy Hield fit in Atlanta. That's why Luke Kennard got moved.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like the Kaminga fit in Atlanta at all. I think it makes no sense. I don't think he fits well with this offense. It doesn't make sense to me. I do think the Hawks could potentially cash in the offseason and do a sign and trade for maybe someone better.
Okay.
Maybe if the Hawks want to go get Giannis, because the Bucks really like Kaminga. So that would be a good way for the new Hawks GM, Nancy Sala, to, kind of assert his dominance, put his foot down, and make this big trade.
Yeah. Also, like, if I was the Hawks, like, I would kind of envision Kaminga as, you want to plug him to start just to get his value up.
Yeah.
They didn't move off Reece Shea. So he's still starting. If they moved Reece Shea off, this deal would have made a little more sense because Kaminga slots into the 3. And you have Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, Dyson, and Nah. Again, unless they do move Reece Shea to the bench or he gets moved within the next hour and a half.
Well, if you trade for Giannis, then he would go with him.
Reece Shea.
Yeah, because if you,
Okay,
I'm looking at the Hawks cap sheet right now. It's not updated, obviously, because the trade just happened and it's not official yet. But you have an expiring CJ McCollum, you have an expiring Jonathan Kaminga coming in, and you have the 3rd and 4th year option still to pick up on Reece Shea. I don't know if there's a way you can sign and trade both McCollum and Kaminga, along with including Reece Shea to go get Giannis, but they have a very decent level of picks. And low key, you could even just extend both of them for next season and then just trade for Giannis at the deadline or trade for any star that wants to move. I think that's definitely in the cards. And look, Jalen Johnson's making $30 million every single year until 2030. He's locked up. He's good to go. Nikhil's signed until 2029. Onyeka's signed until 2028. Kispert's signed for a while. And, I like the way this team's looking. Dyson Daniels is making $25 million the next 4 years. So I do like where this team is at. And even the guys you have to extend, like Mo Gay's playing good, but he's not going to make more than the MLE.
Yep.
So I think they're in a good situation where they can go for the gusto here. And I said it on the pod. I do think I was a year early putting all my stock in the Atlanta Hawks to make the finals because I think this team's ready to go next season or maybe the year after because I do think Indiana will come back a lot stronger.
Yeah. Atlanta looks good on paper, of course. We want to see Kaminga kind of blossom into why he was drafted for where he was. Buddy, again, beautiful throw into that, get in. Kennard goes to the Lakers. Veet leaves as well. So you bring in a shooter that, you moved off of before with Veet and Luke. So Buddy Hield fills that void for those two guys. You take a flyer on Kaminga for someone that's not playing. So again, just very it adds up for a lot of these teams with the trades they're making. So I want to get into, we're going to go to Twitch chat. We need to give love to Twitch chat because we've had someone comment and say no love for Twitch chat. So we're going to go to
the Twitch chat.
Yeah, we're going to go to, so Mujib_streams has been commenting.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize, Mujib, because I don't have enough monitors to have both chats open.
Yeah, I have it up, so I found it. Don't worry. So he was talking about his first comment, moving off Sexton's a bad move. They've been clicking really of late. Kobe White's a talent upgrade, but still, I understand now. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah, it's it depends how you see it for both point guards. I think it's like a preference for a lot of people. Sexton was playing good. I will say that too. It's just kind of, I guess, where Charlotte wants to see their team going into the playoffs and see what they can get out of someone that, was a high draft pick, and if he can improve on Sexton as well.
Yeah. What's up, Kev? We got Kev in the Twitch chat as well, the Mandemmer Live. He said, me getting ready to smack whoever thought that Sexton trade was good. So, yeah, the Sexton trade, they should have kept him in all retrospect. But if you were going to trade Sexton away, you should have brought back someone that did the same thing. Don't bring back another scorer. You already have that in LaMelo and Con Kneppel and Brandon Miller. Instead, bring back a guy that can defend. Because that's what Gio was talking about the other day. Yeah. Is that the Hornets have a really good defense. And without it, that's kind of what it is. But yeah, Muji, we extremely apologize. Antoine's going to keep an eye on the Twitch chat. I'll keep an eye on the YouTube chat. That way we'll kind of, we'll work as a team here.
Yeah. So, I'm going to say, so he's talking about Boston now. We're going to go back to Boston for a second.
Yeah.
He says that Vooch is going to play the 4 with Kata. He played very well with Jalen Smith in a double big lineup. White, Brown, Tatum, Vooch, and Kata. Pritchard off the bench.
Okay.
That is...
Yeah, Peyton Pritchard. There was a press conference Peyton Pritchard had the other day where he's expecting to come off the bench again. Because you kind of have to start Vooch. It makes the most sense. Because it would repeat that lineup again?
So we have Derek White, Jalen Brown, Tatum, Vooch, and Kata.
Well, that's if Tatum comes back. Obviously, Pritchard's going to start, I would imagine, now until Tatum comes back. You go Pritchard, White, Brown, Kata, and Vooch. I like that.
Is Vooch a free agent after the year?
Yeah.
So they have to bring him back.
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
Let me take a look at the Celtics payroll. I don't know if it's official, if he's on the team or not.
Yeah, we're assuming that he's gonna be back.
So Vooch is currently on a contract of, expiring $21 million. He'll probably command the same thing, to be honest with you, unless, if the Celtics go on a deep playoff run, he might warrant more. But like I said, I don't think that's too bad at all. So let's get to the next trade then. We'll keep scrolling on up. I'm just going to hide this real quick just in case. But yeah, it says that the Warriors had Porzingis as their target for a while because he can shoot. So they flipped Trace Jackson Davis to the Raptors. That's actually all the trades we have up until this one. Here we go. So here's the trade. It is on the screen now. And this was the one that Gio is very happy about.
Yeah. That
the Chicago Bulls traded Ayo DeSumo to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and a second-round pick. Antoine, thoughts?
Well, yeah. I feel like I'm the guy that foreshadows a lot of this stuff because yesterday I had the Timberwolves in our podcast for the biggest surprise, and I said their bench is awful. Yeah. Nah leaves, and you don't really replace him in a way. Can I hear myself?
You're
I'm
good.
chilling. Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I feel like I was just hearing echoing. So, yeah, back to what I said. So, Nah, leaves to go to Atlanta where he's blossoming into just a really good player for them. And, you kind of left with Nas, of course. We know how great Nas is. Dante's moved into the point guard role now with Mike Conley being gone. Terrence Shannon and Rob were kind of the guys that were going to replace them. Nothing really has came from both of those guys. And you bring in Ayo is someone that I feel like has been in trade talks like every Bulls player for the past few years. Finally gets moved to the Timberwolves, and that is a perfect bench piece for them.
Yeah.
And for what he does on the ball, off the ball, defensive guy, does score, and is going to slot right into that bench as the main guy with Nas. And again, another guy that's a free agent at the end of the year that probably should re-sign him because someone like this, I would not let go, similar to Nah. You don't want to do it again. And you give only Rob, Rob's not really taking a step in Minnesota. You send him off to Chicago where hopefully something comes from that. And, 4 second-round picks is kind of just what it is. But I think a win-win for both sides.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also, for those of you that are still with the flow of the stream, if you haven't liked the stream, make sure you do. It helps us out, kind of pushes the stream out to a further audience and group of people. I really like this trade for the Wolves. I think this was the best possible scenario for them. You bring in a guy that can shoot. He can defend. This is your cheaper, maybe a worse version of Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but I really like what this kid's doing this season. I think he's having a great career, and I think he's going to provide a ton of value in the playoffs, something he hasn't been able to do. You've graduated, my friend, from the play-in into the playoffs.
Exactly.
Kmart said the Hawks are supposed to do all that next year stuff this year. Well, the East is wide open. Yeah, that was the thing. It's just we didn't know what was happening with Trae Young. once they made a decision on that, then it is. And then he said on Twitch, Game Mart's in both chats.
That's
said,
crazy.
Minnesota had that terrible loss against the Grizzlies and immediately made a move.
Well, yeah, I think even regardless from that, Kmart, their bench is just not where it's supposed to be for a playoff team like them in the West. They had to make a move like this for someone like Ayo, and clearly it makes it seem like that Giannis, like we said from before, is staying. Minnesota pivots somewhere else and gets guys they need for right now.
Yeah.
So that kind of how it happens for them.
It actually was quite similar to, I think it actually was quite similar to the trade I cooked up for the Wolves. I'm actually going to go find it right now because that actually would make a ton of sense if that was the case. Because for those of you that don't know, chat, we did our trade episode last week. If you guys do want to go check it out, it's down below in the description. We made a trade for every single team, and I had the Minnesota Timberwolves assigned to me. And I had them getting Trey Jones instead of that. And I was almost spot on. So if you guys want to take a look at this trade here, I'll full screen it so you guys can see it clearly. Oh, it's cut off. But it was Trey Jones for Rob Dillingham and Jalen Clark. So it was almost pretty spot on of what the trade was. It was Ayo for Dillingham, and it was Leonard Miller instead. So
okay,
essentially
there you go,
not so bad. I'll honestly take it. I'm proud of myself for that. I will take it. But Antoine, where does this put the Wolves as far as like ranking in the West?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Right now they are sitting, I think, just outside the top 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or they are 6th.
I'll pull up the standings.
No, they're 5th. I apologize for that. Yeah, they're 5th. So they're neck and neck with Houston and Denver, like within a game. So again, that could flip flop for them anyway. They could be a top 3 seed or a top 5 seed. For Minnesota, they need a point guard still.
That they do.
That is the biggest thing. Is Ja on the table? Now that Giannis is completely off the table for them as well, can they go to the buyout market, bring Mike Conley back? It's a possibility. Chris Paul, Lonzo, there's a lot of other guys. Will they move for Ja? Will you call Chicago and get Trey Jones?
Yeah.
Anthony Simons could still get moved.
They should get
Sexton
someone.
could still get moved as well. There's a lot of time they could do that. I guess it's personal preference for them who they would want. I would realistically go big for Ja. I think that's what I would do. I don't think anyone like that I just mentioned from Chicago would move the needle for them in any way.
But essentially, who would you give up, though, in that trade?
If you're trading for
if you're Minnesota, should we just pull up the trade machine?
Yeah. See what we can cook with Ja going to Minnesota.
Chat, we're going to do a fun little exercise right now. We're going to go to the NBA trade machine, and we're going to cook up a Ja Morant trade, even though it seems like he's going to go to Milwaukee.
Okay.
I really hope a big trade happens because that would be nice.
I had a Ja trade to Minnesota last week in the episode, did I?
No, it was not. Gio had him going to the Miami Heat. So this is this is the Minnesota Timberwolves making a trade for Ja Morant, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Wolves and Grizzlies. This would be a very interesting trade as far as like any of this stuff goes, because I'm curious to see how it would kind of look. So obviously you do have to kind of like I have to fix the alignment of this thing. Hang on, chat. Sorry about that. And then I'll just keep that there and extend it out. That way you can see the full screen properly. There we go. So Ja Morant over to Minnesota. He makes $39.4 million. So you'd have to give up somebody. But who do you give up? That's the question. You've already given up your young piece. And you have to make a decision on are you trading Rudy, trading Randall, you trading J-Mac, trading Nas, Dante DiVincenzo. I just don't think it's a smart move for them to do that.
I'm going to pull up the trade machine too.
I'd rather do a trade for the Bucks because I think that makes the most sense right now. Is there a way for the Bucks to get Ja Morant without giving up Ryan Rollins? I don't think there is, and that's essentially a problem. Because Ja Morant makes $39 million, you're gonna have to give up a big salary piece. That likely means Kyle Kuzma's gone, and that likely means that Ryan Rollins is gone, and that likely means that Bobby Portis is probably gone too. Would that even work? I don't think it will.
Yeah,
It does work. You'd have to get rid of picks along with it, but that's essentially the start. And obviously the Grizzlies would have to waive players because they're taking back too many. But, it's interesting in that sort of sense.
So let's see. If
refresh Shams and see if anything else broke.
No, nothing, because I have notifications on.
Oh, okay.
If anything breaks. Let's see. What can I cook up here? I'm
We
gonna
will take some questions from the chat, though, if you guys have any. Feel free.
I'm gonna cook something here, Tyler,
Yeah, go for it.
and see if this works.
Yeah,
And
while Antoine does that,
I'll
ask.
say
Feel
it
free to
out.
ask some questions. We're here to answer whatever you got for us.
Yeah, nothing has happened since we covered all those trades. So drop anything for us.
Exactly. Yeah, we got 11 of you in here, 12 of you in here. Kev said he has a question. What you got, Kev?
Oh my God.
What you got for us?
Here we go.
I'm trying to think if he's going to be trolling or if he's going to be legit and ask us an actual question.
Also, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the Bucks, but Pete Nance is Larry Nance's brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hooping,
Yeah, he's been playing good.
and he's on a two-way.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's from, what college he went to, but
I think he
just shout out to Pete Nance, man.
I don't remember exactly where he went, but I want to say it was like Penn State, but I could be wrong.
Okay, fair.
I honestly do not know. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Let me see if I can find anything. Kev said, what position would I play and what team would you send me to? I'll let Antoine answer that question.
So we're sending you to.
Gotta send him somewhere.
You want to send him to the Guangdong Tigers,
Sure.
or do you want to send him to? Oh God, I mean, we could send you to the. Who's Kev's favorite player?
Right now, I'd say it's probably Giannis.
Okay, so we're gonna send you to Milwaukee, and you can be the left water boy.
The left water boy.
That is a very nice position to play.
Trying to see if this is a real. Okay, so Donovan Mitchell just opened up on the James Harden trade.
Oh, really?
He made his first statement regarding it. I'll just put up this is just an excerpt of it because I can't access the article because it's paid, but it's from Hoodie Garland. Oh, Eric, what's going on? Eric, how you doing today? Welcome to the stream. He said, what are the Bulls going to do with the second round picks? We are hoarding them like we are an NFL team. You're probably going to have to attach those second round picks to the 35 guards you have to get off of some of them that won't have the value. Like, obviously, you'll get a good return for a guy like Anthony Simons or Trey Jones, but you know, a lot of your lower tier guards that you just acquired, you may have to attach those and flip them, or you can acquire some other players and trade some more second round picks, and you know, you could take on a center for a second round pick or whatever and stuff like that. But here's the Donovan Mitchell on Darius Garland saying, I see what's being written and being said, but it ain't none of that. It speaks to DG. He will be at my wedding. We're brothers first. It's bigger than basketball with me and him. It's always love. And, you know, he also went on to say, like, their ceiling's a lot higher now with James Harden on the roster. Like, you know, because naturally that's just how it is when you have a player like James Harden on your team. And yeah, that's essentially the main stuff of the trades. I really want to get into more of this Giannis stuff and the Milwaukee Bucks, because we know now that Giannis is not getting moved. We know that Ja Morant is the player they're after, and we know that they're also interested in acquiring Cam Thomas. So, in your opinion, Antoine, here, what is the Bucks' best case scenario? Like, what would you do if you were in their shoes?
Oh God, this is so much going on with them. If I were them, honestly, the realistic thing would have to get the trade done now, just because of, you know, that locker room and like, you know, how like they're viewing the team going forward. And like you're kind of left in like a limbo with some of these guys because, you know, we'll wait in the next hour and a half if a Ja trade breaks, of course. But
Hopefully one does. It'll be good for the stream.
yeah, of course. But again, they're gonna be left in a limbo until April because they're not making the playoffs.
No.
So come, you know, playoff time is when it's really gonna like set in for the team and what's gonna be going forward with Doc and the whole trajectory. And, you know, the right thing to do in the offseason, of course, is get this done earlier before the draft, because we want picks in the draft coming up to just, you know, package whatever you can. The teams are going to call, obviously. And if they get a pick that is, you know, great for them in this year's draft, if it's a lottery pick, whoever is going to win the lottery, of course, we're going to wait for that to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think they're failing the team right now, and Giannis too, honestly, which is kind of, you know, a really bad way for him to go out for the team that he started off with. coming from Greece that drafted him, took a chance on him, turned into one of the best players in our generation. And, just it's giving, like the Jimmy Butler vibes of last year. Of course, Giannis isn't going to speak out negatively to get him like suspended like Jimmy did.
No, I think it's the total opposite
Um,
it's the total opposite of Jimmy. Jimmy requested out several times and
okay.
made it abundantly clear that he wanted to go. Giannis wants to go, but Giannis doesn't want to look like the bad guy, which I think is
Yes.
so fake.
Yes.
Like, dude, if you want to go, just go. You already won
Exactly.
a championship for this team. They're not going to care. They're
No.
still going to love you. You're going to get your jersey in the rafters. You're already a top 30 player of all time. Like, for your own legacy sake, if you want to be a top 20 player, you're not going to further that legacy in Milwaukee unless some Luka Doncic miracle happened. And this is where Nico Harrison screwed up, because if he just had a little bit more patience, you could have gotten your Luka for Giannis swap, and that would have been perfect for the Dallas Mavericks. The Luka trade wouldn't have looked as dumb, even though Giannis is older. Um, you know, it is kind of what it is regarding that, and I just don't know why they're keeping him. I really don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what the final decision was with the front office with that, whether, the deals were, you know, meh, they counter offered and they're counter offering just way out of what the teams are viewing Giannis and value wise.
Yeah,
That's on Milwaukee, of course. So again, watching the Bucks for the rest of the year, it's just kind of for the fans, it's kind of, just like a limbo, like what's going on. And they have to wait, a few months to the summertime to have an answer of exactly what's going to happen.
we do have some updates from NBA Central that I'm going to put on the screen right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said Cavs are going to go out there and win a chip for Darius Garland. We did not sacrifice DG to not go all the way. Exactly. To win a championship, you do have to make the ultimate sacrifice. The Celtics with Marcus Smart is the biggest example of that. But we have some interesting tidbits here from NBA Central. First one says, the Cleveland Cavaliers spoke about James Harden 6 weeks ago, according to Mark Spears, and Donovan Mitchell was reportedly aware of the talks. So, again, he said it himself. Their ceiling's higher with James Harden. He's a better player than Darius Garland. You make that trade 9 times out of 10. As far as the business perspective goes, it's nothing personal, which is why him and DG remain brothers for life. So, interesting to note that. Then it says the Lakers aren't expected to make more moves today and are instead eyeing a big splash this summer when they'll have more resources per B.A. Turner, because that's when you're going to get LeBron off the team and you'll be able to go for someone like, please don't tell me they're going for Giannis. Luka and Giannis would be stupid.
Yeah.
So, interesting on that. The Kings really like R.J. Barrett. Our Sabonis trade's going to open back up if that's the case. I don't know. What do you think the Raptors should do?
Oh, I finally got a jaw trade to work.
Finally, it took you long enough.
Say that again. The Raptors.
The Kings really like R.J. Barrett. Like, what do the Raptors even do? It's so hard because they're playing so good, but Sabonis doesn't look like he's moving.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did this trade last week. I said it was either RJ or Quickly to go back to Sacktown for Sabonis in any way, shape, or form. I know Sabonis is back, but nothing really like massive for him coming back so far with scoring and so what. I feel like for them, I would back away because just stuff going on with Pirtle, taking on Sabonis as well now. You would assume Pirtle goes back to Sacktown.
He would. Well, they want to get a third team because he's not healthy.
Yeah, you're kind of taking the same thing with Pirtle. You're like, so this guy's coming back from injury. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And if you're going to find yourself again in a similar situation, you're like, all right, we got to kind of just bite the bullet here. Because even offloading him, you're not going to get much back. So again, the story for that is a lot of these trades are just injuries that are going around in the league.
We got more Twitch chats from Mujib. Said, honestly, I'm not a fan of defending millionaires, but Giannis has done right by the franchise, but they failed him by not making improvements post-championship. It took getting embarrassed him to swing for Lillard, and that was never going to work, with both of them being ball dominant. Then Kev said, is there going to be a 3-team trade between Weeby, Sadivo, T-Man, and the Kawhi Punch?
Yes.
We are cooking one up right now. And then Mujib also said, Milwaukee failed Giannis post-championship. I agree Giannis could be more decisive, but the blame's on the organization. Now, my problem is that Giannis is the best player on the team. He is this kind of superstar. And you cannot tell me that he did not have himself involved in any of those trades that were made. Like the Bucks royally screwed up everything. It's totally normal for you to go through your first year after the championship. You went to the second round, lost in 7 games, it didn't work. And then you play the next year, still with the same kind of roster, and it also didn't work. Then you get Damian Lillard in the building, and I'm trying to remember what happened after that. You lost to the Pacers in the playoffs. But,
It started with, I think, shipping out Chris Middleton.
well, no, because that was later on.
It was?
Yeah, it was the Lillard trade came first, I believe. But the main issue that I have with it is you flipped Drew Holiday and you didn't send him to a third team, which put the Boston Celtics in prime position with a Malcolm Brogdon that was ready to get traded to a tanking team, and you wind up getting Drew Holiday on your rivals without getting anything in return.
Can I say this tweet from Shams?
Is it breaking?
No, it's just I got said it on ESPN,
Yeah.
but he said the Bucks genuinely believe that they can build a contender around Giannis Antetokounmpo this summer.
Okay.
So
We're back to this again, aren't we?
and
It's ridiculous. Like,
so they're not. I mean, they're gonna keep him and build something around.
it's ridiculous. Like, just trade him. Like, the amount of picks you'll get back, like, you'll get so much better. And it's not going to get better from here. You're just going to stunt Ryan Rollins' development if he's still on the roster. It just makes no sense to me. Unless they go out, you have to get Ja Morant and you have to get LeBron James to even make this even entertaining. And we just know it's not going to happen. So,
Yeah. So if Shams is saying that, I trust that guy for what he's getting. Change of heart probably is part of it too. They don't want to pull the trigger. This sounds like, a major case of separation anxiety. Just
bad
for,
optics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Always is.
they don't want to feel like Nico Harrison and the fans that are gonna, protest this in
Right.
the arena. But again, if it's just a great package, I don't think your fans are gonna, protest whatever. But
No, not at
there could be, because like Giannis is like been the face of that franchise for almost 15 years. So again, but at the end of the day, the right thing to do, if the player is frustrated, just move on.
Yeah, Mujib said
kind
Giannis in
of-
Milwaukee reminds me of KG in Minnesota a little bit. I can see a little bit of comparisons. They're both MVPs. They both wanted to leave their team without wanting to leave, but it's just I don't know. I feel like the Bucks are going to look back on on this decade and have a lot of regret if they don't trade Giannis. I just don't think it's smart. And then we have another tweet from the NBA Central. Where is it? An NBA team stopped pursuing Giannis Antetokounmpo because they felt his ego wouldn't allow him to be a second option behind their star player. Are we talking about Minnesota?
I think that's exactly who they're talking about.
Are we talking about Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves? Are we talking about the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry?
Yeah.
Are we talking about, I don't know.
I don't think it's so much the Knicks.
Well, I mean, even though Giannis is better than Jalen Brunson, the same could be said for the Knicks. Giannis's ego about him playing behind Brunson could be interesting conversations to have. Even in crazy scenarios like Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell, Orlando with Paolo Banchero, it's the same thing. So it's an interesting nugget. I'm curious to see if anyone said anything in the comments about it. Someone said it's clearly the Bulls. Giannis needs to respect Giddey. Yeah, it's an interesting thing as far as that goes. And then what else we got? The 76ers are looking to trade Eric Gordon. They probably won't get much for him, probably some seconds. A team that has been linked to Ja Morant reportedly wants Memphis to attach picks to get the deal done. Now, if we remember correctly, the other day, the value for Ja is so low now that Jaren Jackson's gone that they'll do anything to get rid of him. So I would do it.
Yeah.
But you're giving a pick to Milwaukee? That could be interesting.
Yeah. If it is Milwaukee, if it's Minnesota, it's interesting, honestly, for just how the league views taking on Ja right now.
Yeah.
So I'll hold my head until we see something,
I will
because
too.
I don't know.
Kmart said, "Are we talking about Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland? He is in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That is the team he's currently on for now. I envision he'll be on Cleveland for the next at least 3 years. Presumably they get LeBron James in the summer, and they'll finish off his last 2 years there. And then there's probably the funniest tweet. Jonathan Kuminga was reportedly shocked that Golden State traded him to Atlanta. So I guess because Atlanta wasn't a team that was interested, because remember, we heard chatterings about Brooklyn. We heard obviously a bunch about Dallas, Milwaukee, and Sacramento. Atlanta's, again, I'm just as shocked as him. I would not have expected him to go to Atlanta of all places.
Yeah. And I think that's what the reporter said. Someone said that someone was like, "Oh, is he shocked about being traded finally?" And he said, "No, he's shocked about being traded to the Hawks. They were not what him and his camp expected."
Right.
So I think same thing for us. We never saw the Hawks in a team that from what we saw in the reports that he's going to Atlanta at all. We saw mostly Sacramento. We saw, I don't know who else off the top of my head.
Full Court Pass just tweeted the Warriors offered 4 unprotected first-round picks for Giannis, and the Bucks never showed much interest. That is just beyond stupid.
4 unprotected first.
That is beyond stupid. A team that is genuinely going to be ass in the next 5 years, and you say no? That's inexcusable. That's inexcusable.
Very true. That is.
You do not do that. 4 unprotected picks from the Warriors. Steph Curry won't be in the league in 4 years. Like, what are we doing? Like, how do you not even... I don't even know. Like, that makes no sense to me. If you offer 4 unprotected first-round picks and you say no, every team that gets those picks always turns out much better. Like the Boston Celtics. Like the Brooklyn Nets in 4 years. Like, that's crazy. It's shame on the Bucks and shame on the Warriors for not being more aggressive earlier.
Yeah. Full Court Pass also just tweeted, the Warriors are still working on some things and are not done yet, per Mark J. Spears.
And we just got a tweet from Legion Hoops saying the Lakers could offer a sign and trade of Austin Reeves and 3 first-round picks for Giannis.
Okay.
To help Milwaukee jumpstart the rebuild and stuff like that. That's interesting in that sort of sense. But right now, Shams' legacy's on the line, and he's not delivering. So I said, shout out Billy King. Kev said, how about let's bring back Dwight Howard and Pat Bev? That would be funny. But
do you want to hear what Perk just said on ESPN?
Yeah.
He said, Ja Morant better wake the hell up because in 2 years after this contract, he could find himself out of the league.
Who?
Ja Morant.
No, I don't buy that. Not at all.
Yeah.
J.R. Smith said, I think LeBron will go back to Cleveland next year.
Yeah, that's what Tyler was saying in the pod, and that's, very interesting, honestly.
And the Grizzlies aren't budging. They want a first for Ja Morant. So he looks like he might just wind up staying put, if we're being honest with ourselves.
We will see.
Yeah, we're officially almost at the 1 hour mark until the trade deadline concludes.
Oh, we have a Shams trade.
All right, I'm going to it right now.
We have the Denver Nuggets and we have the Brooklyn Nets, but it is nothing of notability to me.
I would imagine that it's not because we just did that trade a while ago. I'm going to Shams right now. Breaking trade between the 2 greatest teams in the NBA. Graphic is on the screen. The Denver Nuggets are trading Hunter Tyson and a 2032 second-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets for a second-round pick. This creates an open roster spot for the buyout market, which means they'll be very much in the mix for a guy like Mike Conley or Lonzo Ball or whoever the hell becomes available, even like DeMar DeRozan or Kobe White or anyone if they get bought out, because we know DeMar is a heavy buyout candidate. So, I mean, yeah, Hunter Tyson, not really sure where he'll play. I imagine we might just waive him if I'm being honest with you. But, yeah, comments are not a fan of Shams right now. Can you tweet more important news?
So Shams also did say this. So the Bucks feel, I said, they could build a contender around Giannis and get him back on board to being there. Yeah. They were never close to trading him at all.
I figured.
So I think that's our answer right there. Bucks are going to be a team to watch in the offseason. Obviously now for not trading Giannis, but for whatever is coming in.
But they could also trade Giannis in the offseason. Like if they don't make the playoffs and they get screwed in the lottery, if they even have a pick. I don't even know if they do.
Yeah, listen. If I'm the Bucks, I feel like signing MT was a disaster.
Yeah.
For what the money they gave him for. So, Bobby Portis is still there, whatever. Brook Lopez left. Dame gets waived, goes off to Portland. Ryan Rollins is a great story for them this year, obviously.
Hopefully
Everybody,
he can continue that next year.
everybody else on this team is kind of just there. Kuzma is whatever. I would try to get off him and just open up more space. You got to bring in somebody. If you're going to plan to keep Giannis, you got to bring in a nice wing because you have your point guard set. Giannis is playing, the 4 or the 3, probably the 4. And then MT, I feel like got to move off of him. I don't think he's all that for that team. And
I agree.
Try to get a nice shooting guard in, some depth that's actually notable and like puts in minutes for them. I know like KPJ is still there. Amir Coffey got traded. We didn't even know he was there. So, AJ Green, whatever it means. But again, the players on this team are nothing enticing, I think, for Giannis to stay long term. So again, of course, when it comes to the offseason and you're making trades and signing, whoever's on the market, someone that's got to be, what's the word? Someone that's got to be helping the team right now.
Right.
Like we're
not
not bringing in someone that's completely has not played, last year, the year before. Even drafting someone, if they do they have their pick this year? They do, right?
Who?
The Bucks.
I believe they do.
So yeah, if they get a lottery pick, someone that's gonna help right now.
I go to Tankathon actually right now.
If the Bucks get the number 1 overall pick, I swear that is,
No, they won't. They only would if they had traded Giannis.
We have another trade, and it is with the Brooklyn Nets.
All right,
once
let's
again.
see. Please be Cam Thomas.
No, it is not Cam Thomas.
All right, so the next trade we got, the Boston. Oh, we're getting Josh Minott. Okay, I like this. So the Celtics are trading Josh Minott to the Brooklyn Nets for probably
Whatever. We don't know what it is.
My guess is it's either a 2nd-round pick or we'll flip someone that's not really.
It's not Cam
playing.
Thomas.
If it's Cam Thomas, I'm gonna flip because that's not the return I want from the Boston Celtics.
For just Josh Minott.
Unless they include a 1st-round pick, which would be amazing, but I doubt it. The Bucks do have their own pick, and it is not protected under anything of that nature. I would, So the Blazers have their pick protected 1 through 14. So,
what are the odds they give the Bucks the first pick to have Giannis stay?
0. I think absolutely 0.
If we're talking about like how to draft lottery is rigged.
Yeah, no, but there's other teams in the lottery that I think have a better chance. Like I think Indiana getting the number 1 pick. I'm gonna do a lottery sim right now. Let's see who wins it. Right now, the odds are set. The Sacramento Kings have the first pick. The Hawks have the 2nd pick. The Pacers and the Nets and the Wizards and Jazz. So if we do this, do a lottery sim. The Pacers get the first pick. The Pelicans get the 2nd pick, but that pick goes to the Atlanta Hawks.
Exactly.
Brooklyn at 3. And then Utah 4, Sacramento 5, Washington 6. Milwaukee gets the 9th pick.
Yeah, listen, Tyler's, I guess, thing for the Hawks next year, getting the 2nd pick to make the finals is very plausible. Very, because you're getting the top 3 in this class, which we know already. Peterson, Debansa, and Cam Boozer. So whoever, it's going to be a toss-up. But we've been saying first pick should be Darren Peterson. Well, if it's the Pacers, probably not.
Well, I think they'll pick Debansa if they get it. You play him at the 4, and you could probably wind up trading Siakam, or you just bring him off the bench. You bring Neesmith off the bench. There's options there.
You have Darren going to the Hawks. There's your point guard. Again.
Yeah. I want the Nets to
Hawks getting Boozer.
If the Nets get Darren Peterson, that would be the best case scenario for us. So we can have our shooting guard next to Yegor. Look, I've always liked Josh Minott. I think he's been good. Zetsep said they traded Hunter Tyson. Jokic is cooked. At least they got a demon in least favorable pick. And then Leon, what's going on, my guy? How you doing? He said, can't wait until my Pelicans get a top 5 pick. Oh, wait, our GM had to throw it away. You threw away the Pacers pick too. You could have had 2. You could have had the first 2 picks in the draft. So it's on them.
Yeah, Zets are waiting for the return on Minot. Also, we were talking about the Celtics before. So they signed Amari Williams, which was their 2nd-round pick this year.
Mm-hmm.
They converted him from a 2-way to now being on the roster. A 2-year deal for $2.7 million. now he's on the active roster, and it gives them a two-way opening to fill. But they just traded Josh Minot, so another roster spot is open. So we'll see what they get back, obviously, for that. But the Celtics are moving around some pieces. Oh, here we go, another trade.
I'm going to it. Hang on.
Eric Gordon, nothing crazy.
Eric Gordon of Eric. Oh, it's not even showing up on Shams.
Yeah, he just tweeted it.
Oh, I see it.
Nothing crazy.
All right, here we go. We got another trade for y'all here. The Philadelphia 76ers are trading Eric Gordon and a second-round pick swap to the Memphis Grizzlies. This gives the 76ers flexibility to complete the conversion of Dominic Barlow's contract from a two-way to a standard contract. So shout out to Dom.
Yeah.
I went to high school with him. Shout out, bro. He's been making us all proud back home. The game he had the other night against the Clippers, 26 points and 16 rebounds. Incredible. He'll have a bright future in this league.
Yeah.
Kmart says Derek Quinn will be a top 20 player in the league next year. That is a hot take. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but I like the confidence.
Yeah, no. Sorry, no. I don't
think I agree with that necessarily.
I don't agree with that.
But yeah, it's crazy. Josh Minnow and Hunter Tyson are now members of the Nets. I just don't even know if they'll be on the team.
Don't forget about who else did they acquire?
Ochai Agbaji. But he's at least good. Like, I don't know. Like, these two are just end of the bench guys. But I don't know. Minnow had a good stretch in Boston. I thought he was going to stay there for a while.
That was like the first 15 games of the season, right?
Yeah.
First 10, 15, he was.
The comments are cooking
really
Eric
good.
Gordon. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Woj clears Shams so much.
Yeah.
I still have Woj's notifications turned on, which is kind of the funny thing.
He don't tweet anymore.
He does. He just tweets about St. Bonaventure and
he
random
has
stuff.
How many million followers? 6.3 mil.
Yeah, he's got
for
a lot.
what he does is
For what he does is
crazy.
quite ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, Josh Minnow's a net. Interesting.
Yeah, so just a few minor trades here and there. Like I said, the big trades that we saw.
Let's check a Rye report because
what's that?
He's the or Ari report. He's the guy that like
yes.
does like a bunch of different like tweet leaks and stuff like that. That's the Minnow trade, the Tyson trade. Let's see.
We're still waiting on the return for Josh Minnow. We'll
probably
see
nothing.
Whatever that is.
Oh, the Bulls signed Mac McClung. That's cool, I guess. The Lakers are a team to monitor for Cam Thomas.
Interesting.
Okay.
Very interesting.
And Denver has explored moving one of Najee, Tyson, or Strawther. So he was right on this.
Okay.
So they're gone there. Lakers forward Rui Hachimura is safe ahead of the deadline. Rui survives another year. Let's go. And then Zet said, okay, now it makes sense why we traded both Boucher and Minnow for Amari contract conversion, and a buyout maybe, probably Ron Harper Jr. Yeah, because he started the other night. I think he's been playing good basketball, so that's fine. The Knicks are also sending cash considerations over to the Pelicans for Jose Alvarado.
So Brett Siegel, who we all know, the Grizzlies have made no ground to find value in a trade for John Morant. They want a first-round pick for Morant with 2 hours to go. Indications point to him staying in Memphis.
Damn, he's going to be stuck there with who? With Chris Middleton? Not Chris Middleton. Who did
they get for Triple J?
Yeah.
Walter Clayton, Taylor Hendricks, Niang, and Kyle Anderson.
And now Eric Gordon.
Sixers
legend Eric Gordon, the member of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah. So we'll wait for something big to break. You know, all the big trades we talked about in the pod happened yesterday, Tuesday. Nothing happened on Monday, right? No.
Not that
Today's
I remember.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing happened on Monday.
Indiana and Dallas have continued trade discussions around a Ben Mathurin, Daniel Gafford swap.
Ooh.
So, a lot of interesting stuff. We had a lot at the start, and now Shams is just clickbaiting us, and we're kind of just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, anything massive, we'll see. We have an hour. We have 57 minutes.
Yeah, we're getting there. Leon says Trey went for nothing, so why should Ja really get more? Yeah.
It's a very good point.
It's an incredible good point, especially when they were lowering the value of him already.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. Let me see if anything Scotto said, because Scotto usually's got a lot of insight Here we go. So Scotto said in the Hunter Tyson trade, the Nuggets will now be able to duck the luxury tax and plan to convert Spencer Jones into a standard contract because he's been
Okay.
playing incredible basketball.
Yeah.
And now with both Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson out for the next month and a half, he's going to be playing a lot of minutes. So, and that's fair. You just got to flip Zeke Naji now to get someone of note that can play that position. Leon said, I mean, not Leon, Cheese Guy, what's going on? He said, what's up, y'all? How you doing? Welcome to the
What's
stream.
going on?
Hope you're having a great day. Who is your favorite team?
Yeah. Drop that in the comments. Where are you guys commenting from and watching from? Drop it down.
Haywood Highsmith is drawing interest from several playoff teams. Let's see. He said, where do you guys think Giannis lands this summer? Where do you think, Antoine?
The Bucks. I mean, we really have no other info besides what we've heard.
Already known, yeah.
Shams is saying he's staying now, and they're going to build. If he does, I will throw in. It's got to be a 3 or 14 trade to get it done. That's the thing.
It will, for sure.
I will still throw in Golden State and Minnesota. The Knicks, no. Miami, not really. If he goes to the Knicks, I will be genuinely shocked. I think it depends on how we finish in the playoffs too. But
Agreed.
I would throw Minnesota out there.
I'm gonna add to the stream a trade deadline countdown.
Yeah, do that. We have 55.
Actually, can you add a countdown without having to use a browser source? Is that possible? Whoa.
That's us. That's us talking.
Yeah. That was loud.
That's on the YouTube stream.
Kever Prince, if you guys are in the chat right now on Twitch, is there a way I can include a countdown as like a widget on whether it's on Streamlabs or on whatever? I'm going to go to Streamlabs website right now. But, we're less than an hour away. Zetstead. So now will be the teams trade garbage time players to convert two-way players. Pacers wanting a center, and the Raptors maybe getting Sabonis.
Exactly.
From the last thing we heard of around the Sabonis talk was that talks flatlined. So I do think that ship has sailed. I do think they missed their opportunity, which is unfortunate because, he's someone that would have helped them a lot, being a good playmaking type center that can rebound the ball like crazy. And looks like it's not going to happen. I'll be shocked if it does happen, if I'm being completely honest with you guys.
Yeah, we're waiting. We saw the rumors about Zubac yesterday. Sabonis, same thing. Cam Thomas, Ja. We're just waiting for something like that to just come to fruition at all. If not, then, we know what's going to happen in the offseason, maybe for a lot of these guys. So, excuse me.
Yeah, I can't get it to work. It's fine. We'll save that for another day as far as that goes. But we have 52 minutes until the trade deadline commences and everything of that nature. Let me close that article. Come on, give us something else. We need something. We need some good trades.
Kmart said Jaren is staying. He posted on Instagram of him in a Grizzlies jersey. Is that true?
Could that also mean a goodbye?
Exactly.
So that's the thing. He could be saying goodbye.
Okay, the Nets got Josh Minot for nothing. There are no players or draft picks in the deal.
I'll take it, I guess. So it's just Josh Minot for vibes.
Yeah.
Probably
maybe cash considerations. Yeah.
Has to be. You have to give something back. Otherwise, it's not a trade.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Giannis posted on Instagram a picture of him in a Bucks jersey saying, proceed with caution.
No way.
Whatever that means. That was a while. It was like an hour and a half ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it looks like MPJ and Clax are staying. I think the only player left we're waiting on then is Cam Thomas. I think he's the last one. Unless the Sixers decide to move on from Quentin Grimes, then I think he's the last guy.
Yeah, we're also waiting because Chris Haynes said Golden State's not done, whatever that means for them. So if it's Golden State within the next hour, something massive that could break for them or another team.
Yeah.
So, again, nothing at the moment for us.
So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. We'll answer them while we kind of wait for these final trades to come in this last hour.
Yeah.
Let us know.
I guess drop down. What is the best trade of the deadline so far for you guys?
Yeah, what's been the best? What's been the worst? What's been the most shocking?
Exactly.
And let's take a look at the Chicago Bulls guards. Josh Giddey, Mac McClung, Jaden Ivey, Trey Jones, Anthony Simons, Yuki Kawamura, Colin Sexton, and Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, that is. I would hope Anthony and Sexton get moved within the next hour. If you have Giddey, Ivy, of course, is phenomenal. Hopefully, when he is back to what he was doing before. All the other guys. Oh, Trey Jones too, another guy that we've talked about getting traded.
Yeah.
But Giddey, Ivy, Rob is a nice just rotation. Two younger guys. Giddey got the contract extension. Trey, Anthony, Sexton don't really see the fit there anymore. Unless you're starting Anthony at the 2.
I mean, you can.
And Sexton as well.
You're going to start 2 of them for sure. I mean, Josh Giddey's been coming off the bench lately just because he's coming back from injury and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Leon said Cam Thomas to free agency in the summer. I doubt that. I do think we're going to move him. Right now we're working with him on a trade. So whatever final moves can get done, I think we're just waiting to see what the Lakers and Bucks want to do. Because it's clear there's no point in him going to Cleveland. So it's just a waiting game, to be completely and totally honest. But then again, waiving Haywood Highsmith opens the door for Cam Thomas to stay here. So I do think it's a double-edged sword as far as that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think my team is done making trades.
Yeah.
We got off what we had to get off in Yabusele. We got Alvarado, who's been in the rumors for months. So, I mean, Jordan Clarkson could get moved, but I doubt that.
No, he's staying.
So it's just, what we got going on right now.
Yeah, we just posted our thank you to Haywood Highsmith. Fair enough. Yeah, I thought the Nets would do a lot more at the deadline than this. But today's also the 1-year anniversary of the Mark Williams trade.
Okay, so that was deadline day.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Come on, someone's got to trade for Ja Morant. Please. Please. Spencer Jones just signed a standard contract with the Nuggets. Congrats to him. Anything else? Not really. Oh, for the return for Hunter Tyson was a 2nd-round pick, which we already covered.
Sham said that.
And all the other stuff on Underdog has just been regular stuff. Kevin Huerter will play tonight for the Pistons.
That's good.
So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Chris Boucher just got waived by the Jazz, or just got traded to the Jazz. We talked about that.
Talked about Boucher, yeah.
Yep. Trey Jones is listed out for tomorrow, or for today. Today's Thursday, right?
Today.
He is listed as out.
Ooh, okay. We just said that too.
So potentially a last-second trade could be in the cards. I'm trying to think who else has been ruled out. Let's just...
Oh, Shams.
Wait, hold on.
We just mentioned this.
Here
It is the Pacers and the Clippers.
Zubby.
And you know exactly who it is.
Huge.
Ivica Zubac is getting traded to the Indiana Pacers. No return yet.
Wow.
Massive.
The Indiana Pacers have gotten Ivica Zubac. Wow. What a move for the Pacers. This is phenomenal. This is incredible. This is the best case scenario. I'm already stamping my Pacers are winning the 2027 NBA Finals.
I mean, okay. First glance, Benedict Matherin's going back to the Clippers.
It's easily Mathurin. It's either Mathurin Toppin or Mathurin Walker. And a 1st-round pick.
Mathurin Walker makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And a first.
Holy crap.
Let's
go.
Someone
Huge.
very big for Indiana.
Shout out my guy, Young Simba.
Waiting on a follow-up tweet from somebody for the return. If it is Shams or Chris Haynes. Again, listen. The Pacers have a top 3 potential pick as well.
What a trade for the Pacers. Holy crap.
And
the top comment is hat trick on his Al Hilal debut for Karen Benzema. Oh,
Yeah.
Let's go. Shout out Zubby. That's my guy. So,
massive trade.
He's on my fantasy team. Shout out my guy Zubby. What a move for the Pacers. What a move for the Pacers. This is exactly what I wanted them to do. This is the player they need. He shits on Miles Turner. Miles Turner's not even in the same stratosphere as Ivica Zubac. One of the most underrated centers in the league. now going to a team where next season you're looking at a lineup of Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nemhard, Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, Ivica Zubac, with a potential of a top 5 pick coming into this roster. This changes everything, and I'm super excited for the Pacers next season. My stock has been bought as of a year or two ago. Incredible trade. Wow, Clippers really blew it all up. Man, I feel bad for Darius Garland. I don't know if I would necessarily feel bad for Darius Garland because the Clippers weren't going to pay Zubac another extension. So now you build around Darius Garland, Kawhi Leonard. You bring in some more young talent around him. The Clippers should make more trades in the offseason. Try and get off Kawhi. Because I'll tell you this. Once Adam Silver concludes the investigation with all the Clippers stuff, they're not going to have a first-round pick until 2034. So this is the best thing for them to do. I'm imagining the Pacers are giving them a first-round pick. We're just waiting to find out what the return exactly is.
Shams is slacking on the return. Come on.
Well, you have to get the initial report out first of who's getting moved.
True.
Zed said, imagine if Shams reveals the details and it's the Clippers giving picks and Zubac for Siakam. That would be terrible. It would be an absolute L move. Because Siakam literally is the second option on this roster. You need both of them to make this worth your while.
The Knicks has to win the championship this year because there's no way it's happening next year.
Dude, right now I think this might be the only chance for Detroit.
That too.
Yeah.
Both teams.
Pacers cooking. Yeah, Zubac to the top center. Zubac's there's not many centers I'd say that's better than Zubac right now. I would say Jokic, Wemby are definites. Who else would you put above Zubac as far as centers go?
Jokic, Wemby.
There's definitely more that I just can't. Oh, Embiid when he's healthy, I still would probably take him.
Mobley's a 4.
Yeah, he's better than Jared Allen.
Yeah,
it's
no,
tough.
Zubac is up there.
Yeah, Zubac. I would say Zubac at least is top 7.
There.
It's going to be Obi Toppin and Jay Huff. I highly doubt that. Jay Huff will definitely be in the deal. I'm almost positive of that as far as that goes.
Yeah, nothing yet. I'm refreshing Twitter to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look on. I'm gonna take a gander on Twitter to see if there's a
Zubac though has 3 years on his deal, and it's very favorable for Indy. The money's not massive at all.
This is amazing. Oh, Bam. I would say Bam is probably better than Zubac.
Yeah.
Even though Bam's playing the 4 now behind Khalil Ware.
Yeah, but listen, it's good for Indy for not trying to. 2 first-round picks are going to the Clippers for Zubac. Wow, still awaiting for players involved.
2 firsts for Zubac is a lot, and it's probably not. It's obviously not going to be this year's pick because you have a chance to get the number 1 pick. So looking at the Pacers draft picks, then if we go back to, let's go to the trade machine. Let's go to the trade machine and let's look at the Pacers picks that they can potentially give up. So if we go to the trade machine and we take a look at this Zuby trade.
Cat is not better than Zubac. I'm sorry.
Offensively, absolutely.
Maybe.
So I would say Cat's better than Zubac. Where's the Pacers? Here's the Pacers. So if we're looking in at the Pacers first round picks, we'll make the trade work with the Clippers. I just want to see if we can get this to work. So Zubac goes the other way. The tradable picks the Pacers have, they're obviously not getting rid of their own. They just traded back for it. So my guess is they're getting rid of 27, which goes to the Clippers, and likely 29, which goes to the Clippers. You have to expend at least $16 million in salary. So I think Benedict Mathurin is an absolute definite. So he would be the backcourt combo with Darius Garland. You still need to get rid of around $7 million. And that's Isaiah Jackson. That's Jarris Walker. I think it's likely Jarris Walker and Ben Shepherd would be the other 2 players to go. Because if you throw in Jarris Walker without Ben Shepherd, the trade works. Zubac to the Pacers for Benedict Mathurin, Jarris Walker in 2 seconds, 27 and 29.
Listen, you know who's a winner in this trade? The Thunder. They own the Clippers pick.
Right. But the Clippers are playing good right now. Even Zubac hasn't been in the lineup for the past couple weeks because he's been dealing with injury. So
is Kawhi the next one to get moved?
It would be a shock move. Low key, if you could package together, would you package together in the summer Kawhi and Garland for Giannis? Along with whoever maybe they get back, if it's Benedict Mathurin or whoever.
Yeah.
Zetstep said if the NBA doesn't punish Kawhi, I think it's almost confirmed the Clippers will trade Kawhi. They're going to do both. I think they're going to be forced to keep Kawhi on the roster until the investigation's complete and the punishment's handed out.
Yeah. Exactly.
So interesting situations here. Still waiting to find out the player return for Pizza Zubac. I don't know what just fell,
My
but
cup and my phone. My phone could not hold up the cup anymore.
was the cup empty?
The cup is empty.
Okay,
That is why. It
that's a
fell
good
over.
thing then. Yeah.
Uh,
Yo, Shams, bro, give us the damn return.
yeah. What? I mean, I guess Shams is also on ESPN right now for the whatchamacallit, the trade deadline special. So that could be a reason why too.
Yo, shout out Zubby. That's my guy. Got me 32 fantasy points last week. What a trade, man. He is my guy, bro. Let me see if Underdog said anything. Let's see. Nope, just says Zubac traded to the Pacers. Good trade, man. Kevin Pritchard, by the way, is probably the most underrated general manager in the NBA.
Jake Fisher, Benedict Mathurin is going to the Clippers as part of the Ivica Zubac trade.
Absolutely, yeah. We knew he was getting moved. I think he definitely requested a trade. You said Jake Fisher?
Yeah, Jake Fisher.
Perfect. Step said Pat Riley did it again. The Heat is the only team in the East that did not make a trade. Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest with you, did the Heat really need to make a move for anybody if it wasn't Ja or Giannis? I think the roster's fine as is.
Full Court Press also just tweeted the Clippers have been getting calls in regards to Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers will let Kawhi decide if he wants to stay in LA or not.
Oh, crap. This could be big, actually. Who could trade for Kawhi Leonard right now? It has to be a team that's looking to compete for a championship and has a young player to give back. Maybe Cleveland. Give up package of Jalen Tyson and picks for him if they really want to go in on like the old guys.
Ooh.
That could be.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
How about Kawhi back to San Antonio?
No, the Spurs won't do that.
Damn it.
It would be cool in theory, but I know they won't do it.
Going to the East,
would
Miami?
Well, it doesn't have to be an East team. It could be a West team. Minnesota, maybe, if they wanted to get off of Randall.
No, I don't really see that fit there either.
I just don't either. That's the thing. Chat, where do you think Kawhi should go?
Yeah.
Who actually needs Kawhi Leonard to like take them up to the next level?
The Hornets?
No. Nah, I wouldn't say that. Again, let's pull up the NBA standings again. So let's go down the standings and let's analyze. And where do you think Kawhi could go? The Pistons.
Okay.
Could potentially be a spot for him, but you'd have to get rid of Tobias Harris, which I don't know if I'd want to do that if I'm them. The Warriors. Someone said, Zstep said Butler, Pods, and picks. Problem is, the Warriors won't get rid of either of those players. So
They should.
Because Kawhi right now, let me actually take a look at Kawhi's payroll, his contract. He is making, he's on 2 years left, $50 million each year. So it's a hefty trade. I think Dallas should low-key go for him if they're going to try and compete, but the Pistons could use him. I don't see the Knicks or Celtics making the move. Cleveland sounds enticing. Philly would be interesting, but I doubt it.
Okay, it is Mathurin and now Isaiah Jackson as well.
I told you it would be Isaiah Jackson.
I don't know if that's if that is the final package, but people are just tweeting out names.
Yeah, so I helped Gio make his Pacers trade, and I believe, let me actually pull it up right now for y'all. Let me show y'all what we cooked up in the episode. Is our desktop audio muted? It is. So I could just pull up our YouTube video, which will just be just way easier to show you guys what we're talking about here. So for Mr. Zubby stars, okay, so we're going to the Pacers trade that I have saved here. If I can find it. We did it earlier on. There it is. So, I got our own ad.
Now open in your neighborhood.
You got our own ad.
So,
I'm going to skip
off
it
your
just
taxi-
for the sake Probably of gonna showing
move
the
too.
viewers what we got. Oh, it wasn't for Zubac. Never mind. So this was the trade we cooked up. It was Herb Jones and Yves Missi. This was Gio's trade for Isaiah Jackson, Benedict Mathurin, a first and a second round swap. So very interesting as far as that goes. As far as the rest of the teams that could go, Miami would be a very smart thing to do. You give them Andrew Wiggins as salary filler, along with maybe like Jaime Jaquez or Khalil Ware and a bunch of picks. That would be a very smart thing to do. Milwaukee could get off Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, and Miles Turner to get Kawhi Leonard in the door. I think that would also be really smart. Orlando would be very smart as well. Orlando could get rid of, a problem that they have, which could
100%.
I could see that as a fit for them.
Shams, it is Isaiah Jackson, Benedict Mathurin, and significant draft compensation. We know it's 2 firsts. That's
Yeah.
all we know.
I
So
hope
the
it's not.
players
I hope
are-
it's not this year's. If it's this
Right.
year's, then it's. I would say it's bad.
Oh, here we go. It is Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks, and 1 second-round pick to the Clippers for Ivica Zubac and Kobe Brown.
Oh, they got Kobe Brown too.
It is a 2026 first-round pick protected and a 2029 first unprotected.
Let me ask you this: the 2026 protected. What is the pick protection on that?
I don't know.
Because this is the pick they traded back from the Pelicans, so they control their own destiny here. The goal for the Pacers is to get inside the lottery. For Zubac, my best guesstimation is that this is a top 6 protected pick, but let's see if it is or it isn't.
Yeah, we're waiting on anybody to say what the pick is. They're just saying it's picks, obviously.
Let's see. So I feel like Drew's a big Clippers fan.
Yeah,
It looks like 2026 protected and 2029 unprotected.
Here we go. Clippers are receiving 2026 first round protected 1 to 4 and 10 to 30.
That's risky AF.
So
you know
what
what
does
that
that-
means?
what does that
So
mean?
here's what this means. If the Pacers get into the top 4, the pick is theirs. If it's outside of the top 4, the pick goes to the Clippers. This means one specific thing. The Pacers only want the top 4 players. So even if the 5th pick, if it's whoever, if it's that Fleming kid that's projected to go 5th right now.
Flemings, yeah.
So right now, I think the Pacers are extremely confident of getting Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, or AJ DeBansta. If it's Kingston Flemings or Caleb Wilson or Keaton Wagler, whoever, that
Anything
goes back to the Clippers.
so 5 to 9, it goes to the Clippers.
5 to 14. Oh yeah, the furthest they
It
can
says
drop
10
that.
to 30.
But keep in mind, the Pacers have the worst record in the NBA right now. This means that with the Pacers finishing as the worst team in the NBA, the worst they could fall back to is 5. Meaning that there is a 49% chance that, or 47% chance that the pick conveys to the Clippers. If not, if only 3 teams get into the top 4, the Pacers survive and they wind up with the 4th pick and the Clippers get screwed. So not the greatest trade from the Clippers aspect of it, but Adam Silver will give OKC the first pick and the Clippers the 5th pick. That's also another plausible scenario. Wow.
Yeah, so
What a trade. Shout out my guy, Zubby. Good trade. This is exactly what they needed to do. This is everything we could have asked for and more from Kevin Pritchard.
So protected 1 to 4. So, okay. Even if the Pacers get outside top 3, they still get, if they get 4, it's still theirs.
Well, remember, the furthest you can fall back is 4 spots from where you are in the lottery. Because if 4 teams get ahead of you, because remember that you're drawing for the top 4. So if the Pacers finish with the second worst record, the furthest they can fall back to is 6. If 4 teams get in. Remember, Utah was the first worst record in the league. 4 teams got into the lottery. They got pushed out to number 5.
Okay, so the pick realistically, the pick's going to be where for the Clippers?
If they get it.
Yeah.
If the Pacers finish with the worst record in the NBA, the only chance the Clippers have of getting that pick is if it's number 5.
Got it.
Risky. So that's
So
why.
if it's not, they get nothing at all, or they do get it first.
No, if like I said, if the pick, let's say the Pacers finish with the worst record,
Got it.
and let's say the Thunder, the Nets, and the Kings get into the top 4,
Mhm.
and that's it. The Pacers are going to be the 4th pick, and they get their own pick.
Got it.
So this is a very high risk trade for the Clippers with that pick specifically, and it's interesting. And to be honest, I just realized I haven't eaten, so I'm going to eat my muffin right now on stream.
Someone says the Pacers pick currently has a 47.9% chance of conveying to Los Angeles in June.
Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. So here, you'll see the Tankathon on stream in a moment here. If we go to, actually, you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to go to here, and I'll explain to you what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So NBA lottery simulator. I use this site to determine our fantasy basketball draft order. This will kind of give you some sort of an insight onto what I'm sort of getting at. I'm just trying to find it. Trying to remember the site it was on. I am trying to look for it. But Antoine, run us through your thoughts on this trade now that it's like full and final while I look for this thing.
Oof. Yeah, just listen, massive for Indy, no doubt about it. One of the best centers in the league now is going to be there long term. And like I said, the 2029 unprotected pick, the Pacers are going to be good in 3 years, 4 years. We know that for a fact. That's going to be, a later pick. The interesting pick is the pick that Tyler's trying to explain to me right now, because I get protections, but I also get confused as to where, when draft lottery season comes around, how it goes to certain teams. Again, Benedict Mathurin, we knew was the one piece that is not coming back to Indy because he's a free agent at the end of the year. You throw in Isaiah Jackson as well. Why not?
There it is. I found it.
So massive from both ends. Risky for the Clippers, obviously.
Yeah.
For this year's pick. But Mathurin's a very nice piece to get back. You have Garland and Mathurin now. Two young guys that could help this team going forward. Now, is Kawhi getting traded within the next half an hour?
That remains to be seen.
We will see.
So do you see on the screen the website that I'm on?
Let's go. Hold on. Let
me know if you see a table.
I do see a table.
Okay. So this is the current lottery format of the NBA from 2019 to now. You see the top 3 teams, they have the highest chance to get the number 1 pick. They're equal at 14. But there's only a 14% chance you get that pick. So there's a much better chance of other teams getting into the top 4, meaning you have a 48% chance to get the 5th pick. Which means it makes it favorable to not tank, because if you have the worst record, there's no guarantee you're going to wind up in the top 4. So it makes sense to do that. Look how it is here. 14% chance for the second worst record, 28% chance to get the 5th pick, 20% for the 6th pick. And we look at the lottery last year, Utah and Washington were 1 and 2, and they wound up finishing the lottery at 5 and 6. So there's no guarantee you'll get in. A lot of these, the draft order is projected to kind of do that anyways. The worst record has not gotten the number 1 pick in years. The Pistons finished with the worst record consecutive season. They got the 5th pick every time. So
this pick realistically is going to go to?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think if the Pacers finish with the worst record in the league, I don't know. But if they win some more games and they wind up with the 4th best record, there's a high chance that it goes to the Clippers. So
because it's could realistically fall out of the top 4.
Correct.
So Clippers can get a top 10 pick.
Yeah, because look right here. You see how with the worst record in the league, you can't go past 5.
Yeah.
You can't go past 6 if you're the second. So it works like that because only 4 teams get into the lottery.
So the Clippers are banking on the Pacers winning.
Either winning games or just the lottery luck helping them out.
Yeah.
Because remember, the Clippers don't have their own pick. It goes to OKC. So here it is. So Shams said that the Clippers are receiving a 2026 first-round pick, protected 1 through 4, and 10 through 30.
Oh, here we go. Shams also said if the Pacers' first-round issue does not convey to the Clippers, it converts to a 2031 unprotected first-rounder.
Perfect. Exactly. So that gives them further security because the Pacers are likely going to shut down Siakam after the All-Star break. They're likely going to shut down Zubac and get ready when what the hell he comes back. What a trade, man. This is awesome.
Yes, if the Pacers get that pick, it's okay. Yeah. Okay. It's just a really big toss-up at this point.
Really is. So Muji said no. Josh Minot to the Nets. Man, I love that guy. Look, I've always liked Josh Minot. I'm glad he's going to be on the team. He said in the event that AD and Trey are healthy, is AD long for the Wizards, or is there something bigger in the plans? I have a weird feeling they may be a Giannis suitor. I only say no because they have Alex Sarr. Otherwise, you would have had a really good point. I just don't see that working out with Sarr on the roster. There's no need to trade him. He's blossoming. What do you think about that, Antoine?
We're looking at the Wizards. Yeah.
As a suitor
Trey,
to get Giannis.
Johnson,
Unless you flip AD to get Giannis, but there's no way in hell the Bucks would want Anthony Davis.
No.
That said, it's funny the Pacers only need to lose more than the Kings and the Pelicans, who don't even try to lose. They just suck. Exactly. But that's the thing. They're going to shut guys down. And the Pacers have injuries too. So it's not like they're just, unethically tanking. So, mute my mic for a sec.
Yeah. No, I don't see the Wizards doing that. The young core for the Wizards is, like Tyler said, blossoming. You have Kaishan, Sarr. They're all taking steps this year. Trey, we'll see what happens with him. Bilal, same thing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really see that. They just got AD and they plan to sign him long term. And so you
Yeah.
know,
Plus, I think the other end of it is like you make that big trade to, like you flip your most important assets to get even better assets. Like you flip McCollum to get Trey Young. Like that's impressive. Like much better player.
okay,
Oh,
let's see.
my first bite of food today.
I have not had any food. I'm gonna have that after we're done, obviously.
Oh, I'm starved. We
Uh,
got just under half an hour until the trade deadline commences. I'm curious to see what Kawhi does.
within half an hour, of course.
Yeah.
Let's see, nothing yet on.
What if the Wiz land top 3 or even 1? I think Milwaukee would take AD for the pick and drop Giannis. Ooh. But then again, though, the one position this team is missing is the 3. Bilal Coulibaly's not been good.
Yeah.
So you could roll out a lineup next season of Trey, Keyshawn, AJ Debanza, and then AD and Sar.
Yes.
Since I'm eating, Antoine, feel free to read the chats.
Yeah. I'm still scrolling through Twitter. Let's see. The rest of the deadline will be minor trades that nobody cares, and the Raptors trying for Sabonis, for Pirtle, and RJ. Yeah, we'll wait on that. Zubac got moved. Sabonis is the last one that we've heard of. So, he said Adam Silver will give OKC the first pick and the Clippers the 5th pick. No, I doubt that.
It could happen.
Yeah, that is true too.
We should read chats out loud so that way.
No,
can
I was
hear it.
reading the one before you read. I think they just
Oh,
suck.
yeah.
I was reading it to myself. What if the Wizards land top 3 or even 1? I think Milwaukee would take AD for the pick. You said that one too.
Yeah.
Okay, Mason. I think this is your first time in the chat.
Oh, what's going on,
What's
Mason?
going on? Is Zubac a better fit than Turner was? 100%.
I'd say no.
You don't think so?
From an offensive perspective, I would say no because he can't shoot. But if there's one thing Miles Turner was dog shit at, it is rebounding the basketball. So you know what? This is a big upgrade on Miles Turner. If you play the Thunder in the finals again, he is a much better candidate to take on Hartenstein and Chet than Miles Turner.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Tyler just said. Zubac gets rebounds like crazy. It's always double digits or more every game usually. He does score, of course, as well, but doesn't shoot. But for what they want to go for, Indy, I think that's realistically the best center in their, right mind to trade for. Like Gafford, probably not.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't take Sabonis on either, of course. So
It was him or bust.
yeah, exactly. I truly believe that too. So good on Indy for sure. That's a big trade, regardless.
Kevin Pritchard's a freaking wizard.
Yeah.
He's
Let's
so
see.
good at what he does.
Jazz declined offer from Pacers for 2 first-round picks for Walker Kessler. Indiana pivoted to Zubac.
2 first for Walker Kessler. That's what they wanted, but I think now
They want to keep him.
they have to because you have Jaren Jackson and Lauri Markkanen. You need Walker Kessler to grab those boards. You don't want to give the Jazz those picks. The Clippers are going to fold anyways.
All right, let's see.
You said check Chris Haynes.
Yeah, Chris Haynes just tweeted that, right?
What?
That I just what I just read out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Let's see.
Kessler will be in demand as an RFA this summer. Well, they're going to bring him back. They're going to match that offer sheet, no problem.
A tweet from Underdog. Jeremy Sohan is still on the team, and he's ruled out tonight.
Yeah, but it said with a quad injury.
Yeah, but that could just be for trade and stuff like that.
So right now we're waiting for just Cam Thomas, anything Nets related, Sabonis, Jeremy Sohan, Kawhi Leonard, Ja Morant, anything else minor, of course, as well.
I think Giannis and Ja are staying put. And
Hectic Raven said, "Let's go Knicks." That is correct. Very much correct. Let's
Straight
go
cap.
Knicks. Shams tweet just now.
Ooh,
Charlotte Hornets are trading Tyus Jones to the Dallas Mavericks for Malachi Branham. Mavericks have had interest in Jones this season and get him. Hornets open up a $7 million trade exception.
interest for Tyus Jones is the strangest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Exactly.
Tyus Jones, he's like one of the worst point guards in the league. Hell nah.
If it's Trey Jones, I get it.
Oh, Trey Jones would have been perfect for Dallas.
Not Tyus.
But Trey Jones would have commanded a much larger return than Malachi Branham. But
Yeah, no idea what Dallas is trying to do there with Tyus Jones.
Beats me.
Malachi Branham again, nothing. They got him in the trade for AD.
Can Tankathon update the lottery now the Pacers have it's protected 1 through 4. Let's do another sim. Let's see if it goes to the Pacers or not. Right now they actually have the 3rd highest odds. So with the 3rd highest draft odds, they have a 14% chance at the number 1 pick, 13% chance at the number 2 pick, 12.7 at 3, 12% at 4, 15% chance to get 5, 26 at 6, and then 7% for 7th pick. So we'll sim the lottery. And there you go. The Pacers fell to number 6, which goes to the Los Angeles Clippers. So now they have a 1st-round pick in next year's draft. And Dallas, of course, wins the lottery again, which would be insane. Cooper Flagg and I don't know if they draft AJ with Cooper Flagg.
No, it'll be Darren Peterson.
It would probably be Darren Peterson, and then they trade Kyrie Irving.
So wait,
the Nets got 3rd again.
Clippers get the 6th, and then they get who gets the pick next year? Indy gets the 27 pick. You said right?
Yeah. Remember the Clippers the Pacers traded this year's pick protected, and then they traded away their 2029 pick.
Yeah.
But again, if the Pacers get inside the top 5 or the top 4, then that pick conveys to a 2031 pick. So it's either a now or a later thing, depending on how it finishes out. Zet said, Cooper Flagg, I am sorry, you will have to play point guard forever. No, I don't think he will. I do think Dallas will attack the point guard market in the draft. That's essentially what we want to build around.
Okay. Shams also quote tweeted, the Bucks and Suns have expanded the Nick Richards trade to a 3-team deal. Ousmane Dieng is going to Milwaukee and Nick Richards is going to Chicago. There's their center.
Ousmane Dieng in Milwaukee's pretty decent. I do like that. I'd still start Jalen Smith over Nick Richards, but it's fine.
Yeah. I would too. I don't think Nick Richards is all that either.
Right now, Zets, the Mavs are mocked to get Mikal Brown Jr. at 7, who's a point guard out of Louisville. And he's 6'5", so it's not like it's an undersized player you're playing next to Cooper Flagg. But then again, Ryan Nembhard's developing really nicely. So I don't really think there's a need to really strive for a point guard. But if not, if you get lucky, Kingston Fleming's probably going to go top 5. Obviously, Darren Peterson's the best player in this class right now. Oh, excuse me. You still got LeBaron Fallon from Alabama and Darius Akuf from Arkansas. But it's interesting, man.
Brett Siegel just tweeted, we could see one more big trade before a deadline, and that involves Ja Morant. The Grizzlies continue to make calls trying to move him for value, and the Bucks are still in talks. 20 minutes left before the deadline.
Boys, we're getting close. We are right there. The deadline's been interesting so far. Or as Kev would say, so far.
Yeah, so Ja, according to Brett Siegel, we will see.
Who else could use Kawhi? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let's make a list right now. So I think the Pistons definitely could, but I don't think they will. So that could be the secondary scorer behind K that they need. Yeah. But then again, Ivy's already gone, so it's a moot point. So I would say no to that. I think I'd also say no to Cleveland right now. I don't think it's smart for them or Philly to do it. I think Toronto doesn't make much sense because he already didn't want to stay there. I think Miami makes a ton of sense for Kawhi Leonard.
I said that too, yeah. They could easily match up on a deal there.
Mason said, what are the Bulls and Hornets doing with all these guards? Well, you just saw the Hornets flip Tyus Jones.
For Malachi Branham.
So they're going to do little ancillary moves and stuff like that.
The Bulls, yeah. Sexton, Simons, and Trey Jones are still not moved.
I think Trey Jones will stay because he's been on the roster already. I hope he does kind of stay. I don't think Orlando does anything. I don't think Atlanta does anything. And none of the other teams will want Kawhi. So I really think it's Miami in the East.
Okay, so the trade I just said with Nick Richards, the Suns are getting Cole Anthony and Amir Coffey.
So there's another point guard for the Suns, play behind Colin Gillespie.
Yep. The Suns are getting, and then Bulls get Richards, Bucks get Nigel Hayes, and Ousmane Dieng. That's it.
Who else would be, do you want to read the Twitch chats if we've had any?
Twitch chats, let's go. Mujib streams. Okay. That trade by Indiana is very risky. Too risky. Zubac is not worth this year's pick. That's essentially a coin flip. Zubac is good, but I don't know if he's a missing piece kind of guy.
I think he is because, it's clear the Pacers need one thing, and that's a center. Who else really is better than him in the sense of he's a good rim protector, he's an incredible rebounder. The players they were looking at on the market were Daniel Gafford, who just got hurt again last night. You're looking at a guy like Onyeka Okongwu, who is still raw and not experienced enough. Vooch is old and doesn't really defend the greatest. I think while I love the fact that Miles Turner could shoot well, I think you could sacrifice the shooting for a good rebounder inside. Isaiah Hartenstein makes way too much money. I think Yves Missy's regressed. I think this was the right choice for Indiana to do. And again, that they don't really need that top four. They don't need a top 5 pick if they wind up getting the 5th pick. Top 4, but they get to keep it.
Yeah, well, Yves Misy too. We're trying to figure out if he's leaving New Orleans, of course, because of the emergence of Derek Queen. You know, there's some value there for him, if there is at all.
Who else in the West could get Kawhi? Because the Thunder and Spurs won't do it. The Nuggets won't do it. The Rockets won't do it. The Timberwolves might, but I doubt it. The Lakers, I could see doing it.
Yeah.
The Heat, Lakers, Phoenix potentially.
I wouldn't do that for them because they're looking really good right now, regardless.
I would say the only 3 teams that I'd even consider Kawhi going to would be the Lakers, Warriors, Heat, and under some crazy circumstances, you can convince me Cleveland or Toronto. Not Toronto, Cleveland or Orlando.
Milwaukee for Giannis.
Milwaukee
maybe.
Too. Sorry, I forgot about them.
Giannis.
If they're truly committed to doing this, they could low key take all of their big contracts, move off of them, and bring in Ja and Kawhi
for Giannis.
No, keep Giannis.
Keep Giannis. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, keep Giannis.
Is that team a contender? Absolutely not. But
I don't know.
It's fun. Like Ja Morant.
In the East,
Giannis.
it could be.
No.
That's the thing.
With that, because remember who you're going to have to give up. You're going to get rid of Kuzma, Rollins, AJ Green, everybody. It will be literally just Giannis and Thanasti just left. I would take the Pistons over them, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Cavs. I'd take a lot of teams over the East. So what about the Wizards? I just don't know if they're ready to
see that at all.
They're not ready to compete yet. I don't think Kawhi wants to do that.
Yeah.
Unless you do a crazy move. I just don't see it.
If you trade all of your youth to build around Trey, AD, and Kawhi, it's kind of insane.
Yeah, they're going to play like 3 games a year.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
Or if Ja stays in Memphis, you trade Kawhi to Memphis. But I don't think Kawhi's getting moved. I do think he'll stick around because he just cares about his money. And that's all he wants is his moolah. Portland would be cool because they have a good defensive base of their team.
Does that set Trey Johnson belong on a pick? Yeah, I mean.
No, you need salary filler.
Yeah.
Because the Clippers are over the apron, they have to trade for like.
Yeah.
I've been talking for so long, I'm losing my voice.
Not much at all, though. What's going on Twitch? Let me see. Nothing on Twitch. But we got 15 minutes. Nothing from Shams. I have notifications on my phone. We will see. Again,
see if anything goes down.
There will be stuff that trickles in past 3 o'clock. Yeah, Evan Sederi just said Kawhi could get moved in the summer, not right now, which makes most sense, of course.
Because the Clippers have to win to, prevent the Thunder from getting a top 10 pick, and Kawhi will be an expiring contract in the offseason. So Kawhi's value in the summer is actually going to be really high because of that specific reason alone of the not the number one pick, of just an expiring contract that can go anywhere.
Yeah. So Kevin Pritchard just quote tweeted somebody.
Is it the actual one? Because I know there's a parody account out there.
No, it is. So Caitlin Cooper quote tweeted that Jake Fisher tweeted about the protections, and he said the draft lottery is going to be wild. And Kevin Pritchard said, "Yes, it is," with popcorn emojis.
Ooh, I need to pull this up. What's his username? Do you want to send it to me?
Yeah, I got it.
Put it in Twitter DMs.
Let me find it. Here it is. Excuse me, guys. I need to eat something.
Isaac said, "Where's Gio?"
Gio is working.
He was in the chat earlier. He said he was going to call in 20 minutes. He said that 2.5 hours ago. So yeah. But we do have our lovely mods in the chat kind of floating around. Shout out to Kev. Shout out to... Actually, let me make Gio a mod. I forgot to do that.
Yeah,
I got to go
he's not here.
All the way up. Oh, Lord.
I just sent it over in Twitter. DMs.
Perfect. Can I make mod? I'm gonna make you a moderator. Make you a managing moderator. I gotta extend out this window so I could save it. Let's also make myself a moderator. As a managing moderator. You sent the post?
I did.
Bet. Ah, there it is. I mean, let's first off, like, let's take a moment to talk about what Kevin Pritchard's done in his time in Indiana. Just, speak to the job he's done for this team, and the way he's gotten his pieces and stuff. Oh. I tried my mic muted the whole time. Speak to Kevin Pritchard on
You're muted. I can't hear you.
Oh, I was unmuted the whole time. You can hear me now. But you speak to Kevin Pritchard, and it's like, the moves he's made over the years and how the Pacers have kind of morphed from the struggling team under like Brogdon and Turner and all this into the team they are now.
So yeah, if we're backtracking to a long time ago, you could get Halliburton from the Sacramento Kings. I forgot what they sent over.
It was
go ahead.
For Sabonis.
Yes. Okay. Sabonis.
For Halliburton and Buddy Hield.
So yeah, Hallie comes over. You draft Nemhard, trade for Aaron Nesmith to Boston. You gave up, what was it, Romeo Langford?
Right? No, they traded Romeo Langford to San Antonio for Derek White.
That was a Derek White trade then. Okay, I'm sorry. I have no.
They sent
trades go back so much.
Nesmith went to the Pistons for Brogdon.
Okay, so yeah, bringing in Aaron Nesmith. Spicy P trade was last year, and you move off of picks. Who else got sent?
It was Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown.
And 3 first-round picks.
That's it for Spicy P.
Yeah.
Okay. Bringing him. Big in Zubac now. You offload Mathurin. Of course, drafted him recently, of course, as well. Move off Mathurin to get your center. And, of course, Obi Toppin gets acquired as well from the Knicks. You get guys like TJ McConnell back in there as well, signing him. Let me bring up their depth chart.
I have it on the screen right now.
I have names to go off of.
The 26-27 Pacers, Halliburton, Nemhard. He put AJ DeBenza because,
Yeah, of course. You could put
Pascal Siakam, Ivica Zubac, McConnell off the bench, Furphy off the bench, Nesmith, Jarris Walker, Jay Huff, Obi Toppin, Quentin Jackson.
Yeah.
And they still got the other kid. I think it's Cam Jones or someone else.
Quentin Jackson?
No, there's a two-way guy that they have.
Oh, I don't know.
What's his name? Cam Jones. Yeah, I was right.
So listen, in a year where for Indy is kind of lost. Looking forward to next year. Zubac immediately is a massive upgrade for Hallie's team next year. Nemhard is going to be fully healthy. Nesmith, Spicy P, Zub, McConnell, Ben Shepherd, Furphy. We'll see what Jarris Walker does. I mean, the drafting recently for Pritchard is kind of iffy. Jarris Walker hasn't really turned into anything crazy. Mathurin did, of course, got some Zubac, which is phenomenal. J Hub's been a nice little find, of course. And, the trades, of course, have made this team what they are now. Of course, the Hallie trade, Nemhard was a great find, diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
This whole team is built around the trades. And, a lot of the things that got moved are some draft guys, Mathurin. The Bruce Brown contract didn't work out really well. You send him to get Spicy P. You lose draft picks, but again, you have the pick this year, and it's going to be possibly top 3. Of course, if it's not, it goes to the Clippers. And you're going to get a top 3 guy if it is, or top 4 guy if it is, in this year's draft class, on top of the starting 5 we just mentioned, and bench depth, of course, as well. And you have a team going into next year that's going to compete in the East with Boston, Detroit, New York. Presumably, if Giannis goes to Miami, you're going to have a top 4 of Indy, Detroit, Boston, New York. You want to throw the Hornets in there?
No.
No? Okay.
Those are the clear 4 best teams in the East.
No, the Cavs. That's 5.
Yeah, if they get
Hawks,
LeBron, yeah.
6. The East looks a lot better next year, obviously, compared to the West. But shout out to the front office there for, again, in a tanking year, trying to find what they need. Zubac is clearly a center they needed. MT leaves, goes to Milwaukee, which is, let Milwaukee pay that money for him. Indy doesn't have to do that. and their weaknesses is at center, and Zubac is available. Mathurin becomes expendable,
Yeah.
and you just kind of throw in that first round pick this year to see. It's very risky, of course, but again, it's the starting lineup next year and depth, regardless of that pick leaving, is just too good for the East right now. And you kind of just run with it. And coming off of last year's Game 7 all the way to the finals against the best team in the league, there's so much hope for next year.
There really is. Yeah. I have so much confidence in what the Pacers can do as far as, as far as everything goes. I believed in them last year, and I'm going to believe in them just as much this year. And, I do think the future is bright for this team with Tyrese Halliburton back and healthy. You're usually the best returning from an Achilles your first year. So, it kind of is what it is. But any of the chats we got, Antoine?
Chris Haynes just said Kawhi Leonard is not getting traded.
I figured, yeah.
Donnie 98 from Hun. Hey, fellas. What's going on, buddy? Kmart said 5 minutes. Yes, 5 minutes just as of right now. How many teams have not made trades yet?
Just the Miami Heat.
Okay, there you go. So he said 3 ? It is just the Miami Heat.
Let me see if there's any West teams that haven't done anything, because the Thunder traded Jang. Did the Spurs do anything? I don't think they did anything. I think the Spurs are in there. The Nuggets traded Tyson. The Rockets traded a first-round pick. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't their pick, though. Maybe the Rockets didn't do anything. The Wolves traded for Io. The Lakers traded Luke Kennard. The Suns traded Nick Richards. The Warriors traded Kuminga. The Clippers just traded Zubby. The Blazers didn't do anything. Oh, they traded Duop Reith. Never mind.
Yeah, they got Veet.
The Grizzlies obviously made a move. The Mavs made a move. Did the Pelicans do anything?
Yeah, they traded Jose Alvarado away.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sacramento did what? Acquired DeAndre Hunter.
Yes.
So it's really, you're looking at San Antonio, I think is the only, San Antonio, Houston, and Miami.
Houston didn't make a move either, yeah. That is very true. Houston did not make any moves, to my knowledge. So let me go to Twitch. Mujib said the only Patriot I acknowledge is Peyton. That is correct. I as well.
He's a Celtics fan. Let's see. Mason said, how much better does Vooch make the C's? I think it's tough. You're getting a lot more reliability than Porzingis. The defense is slightly worse. He's older. He's very good in the clutch. So he will win you games in the fourth quarter to help out Jaylen Brown. I think he makes you guys a firm playoff contender this year. Because without the center, I love Nehemiah Queta, but he's not that guy yet. I think Vooch will be sufficient for now, but he's not the end goal. I think even if you bring him back next year, I do see him getting moved within the next 2 to 3 years. So it will suffice for the times that they're in with no Tatum and everything. I do think Tatum doesn't return this season, and everything will kind of be fine from there.
Yeah, to echo off him, Vooch right now is great for this season. If they want to bring him back next year, why not? I mean, he's older, like Tyler said. Similar to Indy, Boston and Indy both needed centers, and they got them. Of course, the Pacers win big time for just the future because Zubac is younger, and the contract goes into the 2029, 2030. So, they are getting a center for the future. Right now, the Celtics can bring back Vooch back, but again, a lot, for less money. If they do want to bring him back next year, it'll probably be for cheaper, and he's going to retire soon. So they're going to have to find another center regardless. So post Vooch.
Orion just tweeted a bunch of more stuff. So Domantas Sabonis is staying with the Sacramento Kings. Denver is active on the buyout market, which we found out earlier when they traded Hunter Tyson away. And no trade for Dean Wade, Jared Allen, or Craig Porter Jr. They're staying in Cleveland. Denver's done on the trade market. Josh Minott and his representatives are happy about the opportunity in Brooklyn. He's told he gets a chance to show who he is. I'm excited about that.
That's good.
So,
that is very good.
Yeah, I like Josh Minott a lot.
Kmart, yeah, Niang being waived by the Grizzlies, he's not staying there.
Yeah, we knew that.
There's no need.
He could be a good buyout candidate for somebody.
Exactly, yeah.
That's looking for
a lot of buyout guys.
It could be good for Philly again.
That are going to go to contenders.
Yeah,
honestly. So
we did hit the 3 o'clock deadline. So the trade deadline is done.
It is not. It's 2:58.
Oh, I keep forgetting. Yeah, our PC is 3 minutes ahead
minutes.
for whatever reason. Gonna have to
2
talk to
minutes.
Jacob about that because I don't know why. I don't know why it does that. Come on, can we get some buzzer beater of like a crazy unexpected trade, like in the Knicks trade Brunson for like an 8th round pick or something?
Did you just read Donnie's comments from Twitch?
No.
So Donnie just had switched over from YouTube. I hope Denver picks up someone fun from the buyout market. Josh Minnow is his guy, and does Niang to Denver make sense?
I don't like Niang's fit in Denver. But then again, they need a 4. So you know what? I mess with it.
No, I don't like that.
Well, remember, Gordon and Watson are out.
uh,
Let me look at the buyout candidates on the Rockets are also gaining intel. Let me see NBA buyout market candidates.
I am not a fan of just Georges Niang. That's why.
Well, they'll do more than that, obviously.
Yeah.
The Nuggets have room because remember, buyout markets just make the vet minimum when they're on the roster on like a new team. I'm trying to think of like other names. Like DeMar DeRozan's going to be a name to watch for in the buyout market because he does not want to stay in Sacramento. I'm not sure who else would necessarily. Let me look on Twitter and see if there's anyone that would be like a buyout candidate.
So you think DeRozan gets bought out of Sacktown?
I'm not saying he will.
Not traded.
I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying
Okay.
he won't. But he is a potential to get bought out. There's no real list of buyout candidates unless you can find one. Then,
We may have to wait like a day or two for that, Loki.
well, because after the
There'll
trade
be a lot
deadline
more.
commences, which is almost done, so it just hit 3 p.m., which means the trade deadline in 2026 has officially come and gone. Antoine, overall thoughts on the trade deadline this season?
Oh my goodness. Very just crazy on a lot of fronts. I will say just because of the players that got moved,
Yeah.
some that were completely shocking to me, some that of course we've known for months and have talked about up to this time. Of course, listen, very just a lot of movement, and I love movement when it comes to free agency and trades. So I enjoyed it. Today was a lot, of course, I think a little more less hectic than yesterday. Tuesday, I feel like a lot of the big trades were Tuesday, Wednesday. The only one we saw today was probably Zubac and Io. But loved it, honestly. And the teams involved in the trades were just completely some that we have never thought would do that. Most likely, I will say the Wizards for what they got in AD and Trey. Utah taking on Triple J. Never saw that coming. Let's see who else. Harden and Garland, of course.
Yeah.
Zubac to Indy. I think we kind of had some idea of getting a center, but finally pulled the trigger on that, which is massive for Indy. And that's kind of it. I feel like everything else we kind of may have saw from a little bit from what of needs of teams have. If I pull up just all the trades from this year, let me pull it up.
Donnie said, very good deadline. Still surprised Houston didn't get someone from the Bulls point guards. Yeah, that is kind of surprising. But then again, there will be some random ancillary moves that happen over the next like little bit. So it's like over, but it's not like over.
No, yeah, there could still be some stuff trickling in past 3. It could be something very just minor. It could be
Yeah.
massive. We don't know.
Draymond Green remains with the Warriors, obviously.
Yep. Sabonis did not get traded.
What a trade for Indy, man. That's incredible. That's genuinely insane.
Yeah, I think Ja is staying too, according to Twitter. I don't think he got moved.
No, he's still there.
So there's that.
So Nick Richards is a Bull. That's crazy. Tyus Jones on the Mavs is interesting.
So it is 3 teams. Miami, San Antonio, and Houston are the only ones to not make a move.
Yeah, so I was right.
So
Yeah, that's crazy. Of course the Heat do nothing. I feel like that's every year. They literally,
Yeah.
unless trading Jimmy Butler was the only time where they actually were proactive and did something of note and of use. Insane.
we'll wait to see if Shams drops anything
I
of
doubt
note
it.
in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
It says the Nuggets want to pick up 2 players in the buyout market after converting Spencer Jones to a standard contract.
Okay.
So
The Bulls can also buy out Anthony. I mean, I don't think it's
I don't
really-
think they
I
will.
don't really think it's actually of note.
nah.
because it's a lot of money for him. He's got to make.
Yeah, the Clippers are not moving Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
He is staying put, and that will kind of be that. Let me see if Underdog said anything else. They have buyout candidates yet? No. I mean, there'll be names like Middleton might get bought out. You might see like older players that got moved that could go in any sort of trade.
So the Cavs are done. They are going to convert Naquan Tomlin to a standard deal.
Smart.
So we were talking about Naquan Tomlin. Tyler has for some
Dog.
time. Let's see.
Yeah, that might be it for the moves. I don't really think there's anything else cooking.
We can wait, I would say, till 3:15.
Yeah, Donnie said Denver still needs a 4, maybe Haywood Highsmith. He's injured right now. I really wouldn't chance it. I think it might just be Niang, to be brutally honest.
Yeah, and
but then again, they don't need a 4 for later on. Like, you're gonna get Gordon and Watson back. So even if you get Niang, he'll ride the bench.
Chris Boucher is getting waived. That could be Denver.
He's not good
A
anymore.
4 or 5.
Mm-mm.
No. I mean,
I don't
who
love
knows?
it. There's better moves they can make, I think, as far as that goes. But very interesting trade deadline. Now's y'all's chance to get in your final questions you have for us. We'll be live for another few minutes. Let us know. We'll answer any final questions you got.
Someone Kmart today has a rookie autograph card of Cam Jones.
On the Pacers?
He's talking about the Pacers Cam Jones.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Donnie has a lot of other stuff on Twitch. Let's see. Maybe Kyle Anderson gets bought out. I'd love him in Denver. That's interesting.
Interesting one, yeah.
Very interesting. Very good deadline. Still surprised Houston didn't get something. Yep, you said that too, Tyler.
Yep.
He still remembers when Fultz got signed a day or two after the deadline. Was that the buyout market?
On the Kings, yeah.
Yep. And he said chance of Kyle Anderson getting bought out. We just said that. Maybe, maybe not. So that depends on Memphis.
DJ
honestly.
Hoops, what's going on, brother? He said, who is the biggest winner of the trade deadline?
Right now, off the top of my head, the biggest winner.
That's tough. That is tough. There's so many teams that like caught major W's.
I'm gonna go with. I want to say Utah.
It's tough. I don't know.
I want to say Utah, and that is just me spitballing off the top of my head.
No, I think it's the Washington Wizards. I think it has to be the Wizards. You flipped McCollum and Chris Middleton for Trae Young and Anthony Davis, and you've built yourself an incredible like you got like a good balance of young stars and Alex Sarr and Keyshawn George, and you kind of like flip that around.
Tyler, I will let you read Sham's most recent tweet.
I think I know who it is, and I think it is Mr. Cameron Boucher-Thomas. Wow. Unreal. Brooklyn Nets are waiving Cam Thomas, allowing the guard to enter free agency. The Nets made the decision to allow Cam Thomas to find a new home. Man.
Initial thoughts.
I just wish things worked out better. Unfortunate. Not much we can really do about it. No one really wanted him. Man, that sucks.
Where do you think? Where could he go?
As far as fits, who needs a shooting guard? That doesn't even have to be a good team, because like he wants to get buckets so he can get minutes and get money. So if you're looking at the bottom feeders of the NBA, I do think a team like Dallas makes a lot of sense because they need a 2-guard. He can reunite with Kyrie Irving, and I think that
would be sick.
Might be the smartest thing to do for him.
That
I think
would be sick.
To join Ja in Memphis makes a lot of sense. He could always go to a team like Indy, Washington, or Milwaukee. Even he could still go to Milwaukee. There's interest. He can go to the Lakers. He can go to they didn't need to go to the Bulls. He can go to the Hornets, but there's not really room for him. The Magic could use his scoring. There's a lot of teams that could go for Cam Thomas. So, yeah, not not an ideal
It's a
scenario
very
for
sad
us.
ending.
But I'm just glad we at least kept Michael Porter Jr. That was my biggest goal heading into the deadline was get a good return for him. That way, well, don't get a good return for him. That way we can keep him around and build. But yeah, I had a feeling a couple weeks ago Cam Thomas wasn't really showing much effort on the court. And yeah, I wish him nothing but the best and hope he blossoms in his next spot. Crazy, man.
That's really massive.
It's been real, Ron. You frickin' Nets. Couldn't even get a frickin' damn return on this guy.
Yeah, which I really couldn't. I can't.
Sean Marks fell asleep again.
Yeah, I really can't understand that, which is crazy to me.
Insane, man. Cam Thomas, get ready to learn buck, buddy. Insane.
Yeah, is there anything else? I don't see anything here from Chance besides what he just said about Cam.
I'm excited next season to see a Talibert and Zubac's pick and roll.
That's what everyone was
It's going
saying.
to be
too on
so
Twitter,
good.
yeah. To echo what you saying, Washington is a winner. I think 100% easily. You get AD and Trey for CJ McCollum, Corey Kispert. What did you really give Atlanta?
Yeah.
Besides an expiring deal, Kispert wasn't getting any minutes.
Mhm.
And same thing with AD. Chris Middleton wasn't getting any minutes. You lose the picks.
Surprised McCollum stuck around,
But,
if I'm being honest.
I mean, he's a free agent at the end of the year, too.
Yeah.
So he could go somewhere off in the offseason. They could bring him back.
Man, this is crazy. So, yeah, so the Nets have to waive one more player to get under the 15. So Cam Thomas makes it 16. My guess is we'll probably waive one of Hunter Tyson it's probably going to be Hunter Tyson. I don't see us waiving Minot at all.
No, yeah, I wouldn't. I would not waive Minot.
Let me go to our roster. Who else could we get rid of? The Nets roster. Any other questions in the chat, Antoine? If you want to go check.
Yeah, let's go look.
Yeah, take a look.
Leon said called it. I'm assuming to Cam Thomas.
Yeah, I think he said it earlier.
Minnie Murray, welcome. He said, "Where is Giannis going to play next year?" I will say the Bucks still.
Yeah, I think he's likely going to stay. I don't really see him ever leaving that team.
Yeah, I will say the Bucks.
As far as other players we can waive, Tyrese Martin's a name that we can just get rid of, or EJ Liddell, but I think he's on a two-way. So I don't really know what the Nets do from here, if I'm being honest with you. This is a very interesting situation we put ourselves in, where we acquired more players and gave up no one. And obviously Haywood Highsmith is gone. So
Donnie on Twitch saying his winners are us, meaning the Wolves. Okay, for Aya. Utah, Washington, 100%. He's saying insane for Cam Thomas to get waived. Minnesota pick up the phone. The Magic always needs some offense. Yeah, Cam could go there, 100%. He thought MPJ was going to go to Detroit, and they had a sneaky solid deadline. Yeah, they picked up Herter.
Mm-hmm.
We move off Ivy. Herter's going to provide more valuable bench minutes than Ivy is. He's so sick of hearing about Giannis. Felt really scared as a Wolves fan. What do you mean scared, Donnie? Like, did you want him?
You were going to gut your whole team for him.
Okay.
That was the thing. You were going to have to get rid of one of J-Mac or Rudy to get him, and your offense or defense was going to suffer regardless of who you got.
Yeah.
So I think it's best for the Wolves to stay put if Giannis wasn't really available. Let's see if they can make a third consecutive conference finals. I think it's still in the cards. I think I have them going to the conference finals again. I think. I might be wrong. But, man, this is crazy. I thought the Nets – I totally forgot. As soon as the clock struck 3, I'm like, wait, the Nets didn't trade Cam. Insane. Ooh, excuse me, I have the hiccups. Yeah. Wild, man. How do y'all think your teams did in the deadline?
Yeah, drop a grade.
Let us know.
Drop the quick grade for your teams.
Giannis and Rudy's a
Let us know
good
what
fit
the teams
defensively, but not, I'm curious to see where Cam Thomas winds up.
Cam said he is super excited and ready to actually help and contribute to another team.
Who?
Cam Thomas. That's what he said to Chris Haynes.
That's why I don't think he's going to join a contender. I think he's going to join a team that's like rebuilding, so that way he can earn himself a contract and get some, some length. Legend of Winning said, honestly, a win-win trade for Indy and the Clippers. Slightly risky for the Pacers, but Zubac is a really good player for a win-now team. So, really good trade.
Yeah, Indy's a winner too. 100%.
Yeah, for next season, absolutely. I think there's a bunch of winners in this deadline. I think a lot of teams could walk out with their heads held high. There were teams that didn't do enough. I thought the Magic should have brought in some more offense, but they didn't. Biggest loser of this deadline, who do you think it is? We'll kind of close off the stream with this.
Biggest losers are the Heat.
Yeah, as always. The Heat just tend to kind of just like drown in their own sorrows. I think the Bucks are also a massive loser of this deadline.
Yes.
Like, this was your chance to finally reset, as Miles Turner did turn the page on the Giannis era and look to rebuild. You could have fleeced whoever for him. So they were a loser. I think Memphis got a great return. Memphis is another big winner. They got a bunch of picks for Jaren Jackson Jr. DJ said Bulls C+, we became sellers, but became a team of guards. Exactly, yeah.
Yep, 100%.
So,
yeah, I mean, but again, they moved off Vooch and Io, taking on Anthony and Colin Sexton. Oh, Kobe White got moved too. Kobe, Io, and Vooch
yeah.
all get moved.
Very, very perplexing, though, from the Jazz and Wizards. I did not expect that at all these past few days. Kev said, biggest losers is Team Ant going 0-3 against gaming. We still got our fantasy basketball trade deadline Sunday, so we have to cook up a 3-team trade with us.
Yeah.
So it should be pretty good. Should be a lot of fun. Is there anything else, Antoine, that we need to cover?
I think that is done. Mike Conley has been waived officially by the Hornets just now.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of that in the coming days for a lot of buyout guys, and we will cover that once they sign.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if there's any like buyout candidate, like
I 100% think it's going to come out. Off the top of my head, I can name Mike Conley, Lonzo Ball, Chris Boucher,
Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan.
Not DeMar yet.
It could be
Chris
Haywood
Paul,
Highsmith, Cam Thomas.
Hunter Tyson.
I think Hunter Tyson will stay.
Okay. I said Lonzo already.
Yeah.
Mike Conley. I said Chris Paul.
There's really not anyone else of note. Those are really the main ones, I would say.
Yeah.
So
Georges Niang.
Oh, Georges Niang could be another one. Yeah. Kyle Anderson, if they waive him. Kevin Love is another player to watch out for. There could be a lot
of others, that we have not even seen yet.
I do think there's a bunch. So our Twitch stream just crashed. Oh, never mind, it's back.
All right. I guess we'll close on this final Shams tweet he just said.
Yeah.
Ja Morant remained with the Memphis Grizzlies past today's trade deadline. Multiple teams were intrigued by Morant's talent, but none were willing to make a serious offer.
Yeah.
So
understandable.
There's your understanding of that situation. Compared to the same thing with Giannis, So those two will be off-season talk, obviously.
Yeah, we'll have to just kind of wait and see what happens because I really don't know everything. Donnie said, thanks for reading my questions. Had fun here. We appreciate you for stopping by.
Thank you, Donnie.
So
appreciate you on Twitch.
I'm looking going to delete this extra. It started a second stream on Twitch. I don't know why because it crashed.
I didn't see that.
But it is what it is. Let's see. Twitch lagged out for me. Yeah, the stream crashed. I don't know why that happened, but we appreciate you, Donnie. We appreciate all y'all. We'll make sure to send you over to Giovanni to pick the G of the week for next week.
Yeah.
And Antoine, is there anything else to say for the viewers before we head on out of here for the week?
Nothing. I'm ready to eat.
Yeah, I'm starving.
I haven't ate, and that's it. But another trade deadline passes. This is our second one because we did last year, obviously.
Exactly, yeah.
And we're going to do these every trade deadline.
Yeah, and stay tuned for the new episodes coming out on Monday because we don't want to upload it during the Super Bowl. So it'll go up on February 9th, Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we hope you all enjoyed today's stream. Thank you all for watching, tuning in. We love you all endlessly. Giovanni Squatteri is actually not here because he went to go over to Rudy Gobert's house and protect him from being traded.
He'll be back next year.
Exactly. He'll be back. And again, we'll see you guys on Monday, and we'll let you know whatever streams happen from here on out.